Albert and I came in last week.
He calls me Albert. But
Yeah.
You might call me Beto, but you refuse to call me that. Anyways,
Yeah.
but go ahead. Okay.
I literally asked you, I'm like, do you prefer Albert or Beto? And you said Beto, and I'm like, I'm still going to call you Albert.
Is it okay if I call you Albert? I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I give you the approval. But anyways, this is Edward. We decided to sit down and talk a couple of days ago and decided to record it and had no intention of releasing it or anything, but now we want to. Mm-hmm. So we thought we'd sit down and kind of give you a quick explanation as to what happened and why the following isn't going to have video. So basically we sat down and recorded and talked about a bunch of stuff and thought it might be interesting to put out there as a part of the Moderately Entertaining podcast. So basically. We apologize for not having the video. We apologize if I was very sick and I sound awful. So sorry for that. Edward sounds great though. So you can enjoy that. Debatable. So it is very long.
It's 3 hours, I think.
3 hours long. So we talked about a lot of stuff we started with
something serious. I think we talked vaguely State of the Union, was it?
Yeah, no, we started talking about what's common sense and how do you determine what's true for who and what. Then we did talk a little politics. Then we got into a lot of stuff about TV shows, what we're watching, geeked out on some comic book movie stuff. If you're into the MCU, in the middle, huge section of that, you can get into that. Then we finished on some pretty serious I don't even know how to describe it. Racial issues and how social media and the Covington kids and all that stuff. So we sat down and talked and 3 hours flew by. So I thought it was interesting. So we thought we'd put it out there.
And I do apologize if I cussed excessively.
That's okay. It wasn't excessive.
Okay.
There's a few of them in there, but we'll leave them in there and see how that goes. But yeah, if you guys listen, hope you guys enjoy. Just to let you know, this is Edward. We might be doing this a few more times going forward here and there. So
sure, I would love to.
That's what this is, and hope you guys enjoy it.
Voice naturally deeper. Oh, add some weird effects right there.
I don't know how to do that. Yep, whatever you want to happen to your voice, you need to do by yourself. Don't you already have kind of a deep voice?
Me?
No? Oh,
No?
I guess not. No? Me? And my voice is like, hey, don't you already have just because I can't talk right now?
I mean, I'd like...
I guess, naturally. No,
I suppose some said...
I think you do. If you're just normal talk right now, it's kind of deeper.
Pretty deep, yeah.
But I think everyone gets kind of higher as they get excited or try to prove a point, right?
Yeah. When I had to learn how to enunciate and stop mumbling, I had to kind of talk at a higher pitch and put more energy
on
to
things.
It.
Okay, yeah.
So I eventually found out that I sound like this now naturally because I want people to actually hear me.
Right.
But I think before it just kind of sounded more like this. So
right.
I guess it's deeper, but it's all.
And that's good though. I think people will take you more seriously for what you have to say too. The more you you just talk like this, like you were saying, I think it's harder for people to take that seriously.
And I also like working in customer service too. You don't want to walk up to a guy, hey man, welcome to GameStop. What brings you in today? And I'd be like, hey guys, welcome to GameStop. Did
you say, hey ma'am, welcome to GameStop?
I should. Don't.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Don't be careful with that. All right. Be very careful with that.
You know, you were the third person in the same 10 minutes to send me a picture of that pop.
Oh no,
that was ridiculous.
It's fake, right?
I sure hope it is.
I hope it's not. My brother sent it to me, and then I instantly sent it to you. I told him if it's true, I have an in at GameStop, and I think he has to get that for me.
I think it would sell out from GameStop employees.
There's no way a GameStop employee will let that get out.
Oh, no.
They would just take them all. That's why I need an in, dude. You need to hook me up with one of those pops. Add it to the collection.
That's right.
I'll put it right here on the table.
That's right. Hell yeah. We start recording that?
Yeah. Yep, everywhere.
I'm going to find out that person's name. You see, I said person.
Person? Yeah.
I'm going to be like, shout out to my man.
No, man. Yeah, there's so many. I heard that New York has 31 official genders that they have. I don't know how you make them official. Yeah, they acknowledge 31 genders.
Sure.
How is that possible?
You know what's funny is that you say the way you said that, they acknowledge 31. I can imagine someone still getting mad saying yeah, but they don't acknowledge the other two.
Yeah, or what about the rest of them, right?
Yeah.
And they're mad about that. I was watching something and they said that the LGBTI community, and I didn't know what the I was. I didn't look it up. Do you know what that happens to mean?
I
I
was saying inter something.
Intersectional.
Sure. That sounds like something. Yeah.
It's inter something, right?
Internal issues. Yeah.
Or it. No, I was gonna say etc. That's E. Or they should just put like what's the little dots? LGBT
ellipses.
Yeah. So they should just. That's what it should turn into.
Totally insane.
I guess, man, it's too much. So, anyways, there's something I was asking you about. Mm-hmm. Let's just talk about it.
Sure.
Pretend like we're not on. We're being recorded.
Sure.
Okay. So I was asking you. We're talking generally about like what is truth. You know, how do we define that? And I was telling you a little bit about how like the definition of truth has kind of changed over years. And you had mentioned something about we were talking about facts and common sense. And the last thing we were talking about before we got on here was. You were saying that sometimes facts are good, but sometimes just good old common sense, you know, is sometimes better than that. Like, what do you mean by that exactly?
So I know it's like an ignorant thing to say, really, to say like, oh, who needs the truth and facts? But just something as simple as like common sense. When we're talking about like other shows, you see all these different platforms of people bringing up different facts about this race or this minority or this majority or this person might to do this or 75% of people do that, you know.
Right.
And as we see, it doesn't matter like if you're left or right, if you hear that, just because the facts say this, just that person isn't always going to necessarily agree. Yeah. So like Crowder will throw out like, you know, well, I understand what you're saying, but 80% of people will do this. And then the opposing person will say like, oh, well, and then just say like totally ignore that.
Right.
But if they use common sense, they don't even need the facts. They can just understand, you know, and I think necessarily the common sense aspect is what we also have to agree on too, because necessarily like common sense from someone else, I assume would probably something that we both agree on.
Right. Like this, we should have this. Well, and that's something we've kind of talked about too. Universal truths, universal like what is universal right and wrongs. And if you don't have that, it's kind of hard to have these kind of discussions with people, right?
Oh yeah.
And that's something I've kind of like. Well, just what you were talking about there, with like was saying Steven Crowder would throw out like stats. Those are like statistics too, you know, like stats, the facts versus statistics. Like it's kind of hard to take statistics as facts too, you know.
That is true.
Like you hear, like I had a teacher who was. No, it wasn't a stats teacher. I can't remember what class it was. But he remember saying, he says, there's lies, there's damn lies, and there's statistics. Like you can make a statistic say whatever you want, you know? So like you do kind of have to take statistics kind of like, you know, kind of really look at what it's saying and how they kind of came across those statistics, right? Like if you could just change one little word in a question and that can completely change what, you know, that actual statistic is trying to say.
Yeah.
And we're just going back to that was just a little side thing, what you said. Like having common goals and common, like if you don't have those, whether you want to call them universal truths or values or common sense or goals or whatever, it's kind of hard to have a discussion with someone about something because then there's no, like that's the foundation of what you're discussing. And if you don't agree with that foundation of what you're trying to discuss to get to a common goal, truth or value, whatever you want to call it, you know, you're just kind of going back and forth at each other and you're not aiming for the same thing, right?
Yeah. And
I think I was just listening to this thing and they were talking about that, like the problem with like society right now is like there's kind of, we used to have the same goals in society, right? Like same, like for just, if you want to just take America, for example, I just can't get off topic, but it used to be universally accepted that America is great, capitalism, you know, free market. And like the whole goals that like, I don't think Republicans and Democrats have the same goals of what America is or the same true definition of what America is, you know? So like it used to be Democrats and Republicans would argue back and forth on how to achieve the same goal. And now that goal has shifted. So their ideas of how to get to a goal don't overlap, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah. They're not.
So like the Republicans are fighting for one goal and they're just fighting for two completely different things now. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, so that's where like, if we don't have that, it's kind of hard to have debate and discussions about certain things without that.
Yeah. It's like if you talk to like a KKK member and they believe that races aren't equal, it's kind of hard to, you know, it's kind of hard to argue with that guy if he honestly believes that.
But black people are cool, man. No, I don't think so.
Well, not.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's
giggling underneath the
That's the
you
first
just hear
time
that
I've
laugh over
heard
the
my
head.
evil, weird, creepy laugh.
Oh, yes.
Now I go, why people don't like me.
Right?
I do.
Every time I hear you do anything, dude, I hear it in the background. It's say a sentence. Every time you say your sentence finishes, I hear in the background. Yeah, definitely. So that's it. Yeah, what were we talking about? Okay, so we're going back. Okay, I think this all came back. We were talking about like what is common sense. So like if we have different definitions of common sense, how do we like we can't agree on what common sense is? How do we like come to that? You know, how do we come to an agreement on what that common sense is? If we can't agree on what facts are, we can't agree on what common sense is. You know, like I think you told me before you thought that like kind of society could kind of determine what like truth or morality in a society is, you know?
Yeah. Society together. And it's not like an instant change. It's going to be like a gradual compromise, I guess you could say. You know, like, of course, as a community or as a society, someone will say this, someone will say that, and then they might meet in the middle and say, okay, I get what you're saying. Maybe somewhere halfway we can agree on this topic or this this situation. But once you get past this certain point, I won't agree with it, or vice versa in the opposite direction. So I guess compromise would probably be the best way to come to form what is common sense is the compromise. You know, like obviously I get like if someone hits your child in public, I get that you're upset, and I would understand, you know, common sense that you're going to be angry. You might want to hit that person back for hitting your child. Right. But I think if you murder that person, I think that's where our disagreement
too far. Okay.
Yeah. So common sense is saying like, I understand where you're coming from. I get why you're like this, but once you go too far is when it's no longer just common sense and it's irrational.
And society will determine what
society
where that
will
is.
determine. Yeah. Where the
what the punishment is for that, or what the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like we'll say like, if we as America, our First Amendment right was that vengeance is legal, so you could legally kill whoever. And if we went 100 years with that, it'd be common sense to just murder someone that, you know, cut you off in traffic. That'd be like, oh yeah, totally justified. But then it wouldn't be justified to murder his whole family, you know? But like, if we lived in a country like that would be common sense. Yeah.
Okay. No, I get that. But I guess the thing is like, we can't even come to, I just
thinking about everyone that cut you off in traffic this morning.
Right, yeah, what I want to do to them, right? Like how mad they make me. There was a lot of accidents in Fresno.
You're like, oh man, that's a good idea. I could actually do that.
Like just going back to like America and like what's in the amendments and stuff like that, right? So we had talked about this in the past, like you got to have those core foundations of what is truth or what we believe, right? So like I told you in the past, I think First Amendment talks about freedom of speech. Second Amendment talks about right to bear arms. You know, there are certain things that we have, and those things are what our country is founded on and what has got us to what we are today. So I think we need to stick to those things to continue to grow, right? So if there are things that are turning us away from those things, like I think anytime you turn on the news or you watch anything that's going on, there's a battle for those rights that are in our amendments, right? Whether it's freedom of speech, gun rights is a big deal right now. Every time there's a shooting, like people talk about trying to ban guns. So like, I think we have to agree on those certain things, right? And I think even now in our culture and society and today, we can't even agree on those things.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Like, so how do we what do we do? Like, where is the universe? Like, where do we go with that?
Well, like, what do we call universal truth or anything?
Yeah. Like no one can agree on that anymore. Like I heard someone like this thing I say all the time, common sense isn't common anymore.
That is a good point.
You know,
I think at this day and age, I don't know how we can get back to finding something that would be common sense. And it makes me wonder too. I mean, you know, I don't know what it was like to live in the 20s and 30s, the 40s and the 50s. I'm sure my grandparents knew, but was common sense common back then? Was that their mentality as a nation back then? You know, I'm sure that's a phrase we use, and it's something I like to cling to. But I mean, back then, were they thinking the same thing? Like, oh, this country's so divisive. There's this and this issue going on as well too.
I'm sure they were. Well, and so, like you said, some of the common sense in the past, things in the past. Like, I think we can all a lot of things that we've done in the past as a country we could disagree with. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
Shouldn't have been common sense, right?
Yeah, definitely. But
like, so there are a lot of the things you've asked me before, like what's too far, or how do we go? How do we know when we've come far enough where it comes to like human rights and things like that, right? And then we've talked about many stories where I'm like, now this is too far, right? And I think where you got to determine that is where it goes away from those original rights that we have in our Constitution or that we believe in, right?
Yeah.
And then one of the things that like I'll I was listening to their a podcast they were talking about, and it was about one of the ways you can look at truths is like we're talking about like the end game, right? So you have a truth or a value or something you hold to get you to a certain outcome or an end game, you can say, right? Mm-hmm. And all the little things that get you there may not necessarily be true or factually true, but there are, what's the word I told you? Conceptually true, maybe? No. Metaphorically true, right? To get to that, but they're not factually true. They're metaphorically true, right?
Okay.
So they're saying a truth it should be what's good for, if it's not necessarily factually true, but it's true and what may be good for a society, would that be something you can accept as a truth maybe?
I think so. If it's good for society.
So that may be common sense, right? So yeah. Like you may not be able to prove its factualness all the way through, like what it's explained to be, right? But once you get there, from here to there, everything that happens is good for the whole. If everyone acted that way, I think I've said this before, that I think it was Kant or some other philosophers that act as if every action you do is for the moral good of a society. Where like everyone in the society acted in this way, it would be good for the whole, right? So I think that's another way to think of truth, right? So if it's good for the whole, if it gets you to this final destination of what you want the truth to be, then it can be considered truth, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So, but there's a lot of things, and then we were talking about facts and stuff. So scientifically, you may not be able to prove that truth with facts, right? Getting there.
Yes. Yeah.
So then I think that's where you might get a battle from some people trying to develop that truth. That makes sense. And that's where maybe the Bible comes in too. Like there are a lot of things in the Bible I can say that if we all lived according to the Bible, I think we would all be pretty good, right? I think
we'd all be pretty chill.
Like let's just say you're an atheist, right?
Yeah.
You call yourself an atheist, you don't believe in
that's right.
the Bible. But if everyone lived according to the principles of the Bible,
it wouldn't be that bad of a world.
It'd be a pretty good place, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't be upset.
You can argue with that. Even as an atheist, you can say that, right?
I'd be like, so cool. I'd be upset about the no mixing of cotton and other materials. I'd be like, hey, man, listen, I like my 50% cotton. But yeah.
As far as like even morality and stuff like that, right?
Definitely.
You can't disagree with that stuff. So, I mean, hey, we can agree there.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
An atheist and a Christian can agree.
That's right. An atheist and Christian walk in a bar, and they can agree.
Christians don't walk into bars, dude. Come on.
That's it. Have you been to a bar? I was like, you better stop this podcast right now.
Right now. We're going to go?
Yeah.
Just so we can see how that ends?
Yeah, totally. It's totally safe. Nah, I definitely don't have work tomorrow.
Just so that question, we could find out what happens when an atheist and a Christian walks into a bar.
There you go.
Because we don't know. We need to discover this answer.
Have a good time. Talk about religion all night.
Yeah, man.
We'll see.
Oh, what else? Is there anything else? Let's see. What else coming you want to talk about?
Talk to me about State of the Union. Fill me
State of the Union's going on right now.
Yeah.
We could be listening to it at the moment.
Actually, better yet, something that randomly popped in my head. I'm watching a show that I really like because apparently I'm a 40-year-old man. There's a show called The Designated Survivor.
I'm almost 40 years old, man. So hey, take it easy on the 40-year-old man thing.
There's this show. What's his name? Keither Sutherland?
24, man, yeah.
Yeah.
Jack Bauer.
That's so, okay. I'm watching the show called Designated Survivor, and the first episode takes place during the State of the Union. And I don't know if it's a real thing or not. I don't know if people actually have a designated survivor. But essentially, during the State of the Union, since the entire cabinet, Congress, and Senate are under the same roof, they have someone on an undisclosed location saying, like, hey, in case something happens, you're here. You're not part of this. Mm-hmm. And, of course, it's a TV show. So the worst case happens, and they're at the Capitol, and the Capitol blows up. All of Congress, all of the Senate, and the president and vice president are killed. And the designated survivor is like the 11th in line to take up the presidency. That was interesting.
So basically no one knows who the 11th person is.
Yeah, they were like, who's this guy? He's right. He was like barely on the cabinet. He was like for like housing or something like that. And he was on the cabinet for like,
you're talking crap on the person who's in charge of housing?
Yeah, that's right. Screw him.
But that guy's in charge now.
That's right, yeah. And I wonder now, like, well, first off, I wonder if that's a real position. And now it makes me like more politically intrigued. And I don't even know how much this is like factual. Like, you know, he has to talk to he's a unelected president. And so people are very much like, oh, I didn't vote for you. And he's like, well, it doesn't matter. I'm the last one left. And we got to pull this country apart.
Well, we have a president who more than half the people in America can say, hey, I didn't vote for you.
Yeah, that's true. So that's the one thing that blows my mind about that too. Is and people always they give me shit because I don't vote. Right. And they say, oh, your vote could have made a difference. And I'm like, Hillary literally got the majority vote and she still lost. So my vote literally would not have made a difference.
Right.
And that just blows
Especially
my mind.
Especially in California.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I don't know how you would have voted for like every Trump. Issue. Like you wouldn't have voted for Trump. You would have? Who would you have voted for?
Next question.
What? Okay.
No comment.
But I feel like you're voting, no matter which way you're voting in California, almost doesn't matter because it's going to go.
Probably not.
It's going to go Democrat. It's going to go liberal.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you're like in small local elections or some conservative areas in California. But when it comes to like statewide or federal elections,
I think I would have voted for Hillary if I voted. Just because the same reason I would have voted for Obama is just because like I don't care about pushing some weird agenda, but like I was like, oh, the first black guy in office, yeah, sure, screw it, let's try that out.
First woman,
yeah, and I was like, oh, first woman, I was like, hell yeah, and then I started hearing like, oh, she's crooked, she's a corrupted politician. I'm like, I don't know anything about that. Whatever, she's the first woman in president. She got my vote.
Right.
I still didn't vote, but she definitely would have.
Okay, at the time you said you definitely would have.
Yeah, if I voted, I would have voted.
Definitely would. Now, are you still definitely would have, or what you know now and the little bit we've talked, and I feel like you're know a little more now about things than you did a couple years ago, maybe
about Hillary in particular,
just politics in general.
Hillary in particular, no. I know nothing more than I did. A simple Google search of her and saying "Why does America hate her" would have totally solved that issue. But I have yet to do that.
If you Google "Why does America hate," is Hillary Clinton the first thing that pops up? It's probably Hillary first, and then Trump,
then
right?
Donald Trump.
Then Donald Trump.
Why funny. Must we clean the sewers? Tell me, Google.
That's funny. Now, do you like? How would you feel?
I would still do the same thing. I don't care about politics. I care about social issues, and I don't care about politics. I care about economics and society. I don't care about politics that much. Which is weird, though, because essentially if something important happens in society, it will eventually lead to something in politics.
Right.
But once it goes to that point, I'm like, someone corrupted will take over it. It doesn't matter if it passes anymore or not. Right. It's out of my control.
Well, do you think it could go the other way, too? Like the politics can lead to what happens in culture?
I think that's true.
Right? I mean, it kind of depends which way you want to go. So,
yeah.
In a way, you say you're not political, but a lot of the thing, if you just turn on the news for a while, I guarantee you everything that they talk about is something that we've probably talked about.
Probably.
And you have an opinion about it. And that's honestly one of the reasons why I like talking to you about stuff is you seem to generally have an opinion about things. Like even no matter what it is, you at least can say like, oh, this is what I think about it. Mm-hmm. And even things that are political or social or cultural that's going on right now, you have a general opinion about them. So that's why I say, I think you're a little more political than you may think.
Sure.
Like, and that's why I think if you got into it, voting and kind of doing stuff like that might be kind of good for you, maybe.
I don't know.
It's or it could be frustrating for you too as well, because it can be very irritating, frustrating politics.
I think it would be more frustrating than anything, because especially going back to like Hillary and Donald election, is that like even if I literally would have voted for Hillary, it wouldn't have made a difference. Mm-hmm. And, that's going to go, for anything, because the majority will not even, I take that back.
Not the majority.
I don't even know how to answer this now.
All right.
The things you want aren't always going to happen. Like whoever wanted, what's the white bread guy that ran against Obama, Christ, in the second term. Oh my God.
McCain?
No.
Romney?
Was it McCain? Romney.
Yeah, Romney was Romney was the first one.
I think so.
Yeah.
Whoever wanted him for president, it didn't happen. If I was like passionate about it, I'd been like, I'd be like everyone was with like Trump winning it all the time about anything political. But the fact that I just have opinions on stuff, I guess it's just a more of a laid back view. When I don't want to get too involved or like delve in too much is because like I know I'm going to get disappointed with a lot of things that happen.
Right. And you think like it just does you no good? You think like you just don't have an impact? You don't have
No, that's the weird thing is because we live in a democracy, and at the very least, things do happen when we yell loud enough, whether that's good or bad. You see that all the time with like, I'm using air quotes, alt-right people, with SJW people, like the gender thing you talked about earlier. Some state now recognizes 33. I never in my life would have even thought that could be something I could potentially vote on, and that's something someone probably yelled.
I don't even know if that was voted on or if that was just something that the state
that's
declared.
A good question.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not even sure how that worked.
But someone loudly said, "I want this to happen," and it kind of did.
Right.
So
I kind of see. I always call it the loud minority.
Yes.
It's like if a small minority of people are loud enough, they can get their point across. So maybe you being a part of that in a good way, you think that's a possible thing?
Yeah. But then who am I to decide what's good or not, though?
Well, what's truth? What's good? What's morally good? Well, that's where you got to determine it. What's good for, you got to determine what do you think is good for the overall society? Whether you want to call it truth or whatever, I think we got to determine what is going to be most beneficial for our country, for our culture, our society where we live, and, I can honestly say that what I believe and my truth will be what's better overall for society. Whether you believe my truth or not, I feel comfortable saying that this is what I believe and this is truth. And so I don't feel wrong in any way for trying to push that or be outspoken about it or vote for it, So I think only good can come from it.
That is true.
If you truly believe and I think that's where it comes. I think you really do need to know what you believe and why you believe it. It could be super easy for, I'm a Democrat, I'm a liberal, I believe, so I'm going to vote or believe along the lines of everything this side has to say, right?
Yeah.
So.
Thinking about that too. During that show, several times, you'll notice that the guy is trying to convince someone, because he's coincidentally the 11th guy in spot, is an independent, the first independent to win.
Oh, yeah. What?
So he's very much like, let's go on both sides and help each other out. And then things will happen throughout the show where like he goes to like a senator, a congressperson. They had to fill up new positions. Oh, there was one congressperson that survived as well too. She's cool. Whatever.
Was she Democrat or Republican?
She was Republican. Oh, she was cool.
They made a cool Republican in a TV show?
They made two cool Republicans. Well, I think Republican. He has like a chief of state that he like primarily promotes to.
Yeah, I'm really a Democrat.
Well, and like
do it. They think I'm a Republican.
They like the guy he butts heads with them, and then he's like, you know what, I need that because he's independent. So he's like, I need someone to show me both sides, and he's like, oh, I thought you were gonna fire me. He's like, no, actually, I want to make you chief of state. It's pretty cool. The guy's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
But there's several times throughout this series where someone will make a different choice opposed to what they like identify as, whether it's like a Republican or a Democrat. But then sometimes that person will be like a senator or a congressperson, or I'm sorry, I'm ignorant of everything in the country. Who is elected to represent our country? Is it the Senate? Like, if someone needs to take a vote, like to pass a bill to say, like, we need.
There's the Senate and the House, yeah.
Okay.
Congressmen and Senate. There's senators and congressmen, yeah.
And then, like, they'll make different choices opposite of what, like, like they had a gun control issue on the show, and then, like, a Republican made a Democratic vote because they wanted more gun control. Does that happen in real life?
I mean, you can vote. I mean, you're not.
Like, if California voted for, like, the Republican option, like, that sounds impossible, but I mean, like, are they allowed to?
Yeah. There's always a few, like, for most things to pass, there has to be a few Democrats or Republicans that vote across party lines.
Sure.
Right? Because I think for a vote to pass, you have to have so many votes. And it's very rare that, I think it's very rare. I mean, I know it's rare that Republicans or Democrats hold that much of a majority. Where, like, if all the Republicans voted one way and all the Democrats voted one way, that is still going to get passed, right? Usually you need a few Democrats or a few Republicans. Yeah. And there's always those. They know which ones they are. It's usually like they have their eye on these 5 Republicans that can tend to vote either way, the more moderate or middle.
Do you think it's like something, and again, I'm basing all this on like, this has opened up my mind from a TV show.
Dude, maybe it's good. Maybe the TV show is good for that. I'm okay with it.
But then also, I'm wondering, maybe in the sense I'm wondering like what's realistic about it. They have political gains and powers, and obviously I know you don't know what the president knows, but I wonder how much of it is like, if I don't know, Alaska. I don't know if they're Republican or Democrat, but if someone goes to like the representative of Alaska and they go, hey, I'll help you out with that grant if you vote yes on this bill that we want to pass. I wonder if they'll be like, okay. Or I wonder if they're actually representatives and they think, you know what, I actually feel differently about this, regardless of how my state has elected me. Do you think it's more like a political game that they play with each other, or
Yeah, I think there's a lot of games going on, and I think oh yeah, you're just like, dang it, it is that show's probably more like what goes on than you would like to think.
More of a bummer than inspiring.
Well, and honestly, that's a huge problem because everything's a game. I don't think anyone votes on any big bill without getting something back that from someone. It's a game. I think like, vote my way on this and we'll give you more tax money to fund this program, or there's a lot of that stuff going on, and honestly that's a lot of what's the problem, because you vote in someone to represent the values that your area represents, right? And for what they said throughout their campaign, what you voted them in for, and then once they get there, it completely changes. And that's super frustrating, right? And so like they do have that balance of what I want to, and I really think that that's a thing with like even presidents and stuff like that. They have this idea of what they want to do and what they say they're going to do, and once they get there, like, oh, what? I got to do this. They're like, this is how this works. Like you don't really know, dude. Trump, what was his whole campaign was to build a wall. Yeah, how hard that is for him right now.
We'll see.
The government was shut down for.
Is it still shut down?
No, it's back. It came back.
And I didn't notice it went off, and I didn't notice it came back on.
You didn't notice, huh?
I'm like a blind guy. I didn't know the lights went out. I'm like, oh, what? I haven't paid the. Oh, well, I guess that doesn't matter.
But most of the world's blind, man. No one.
That's fair.
Again, like the government. I said this before. Like the government affected very few people, and I think what the shutdown did for a lot of people is made them realize how, like, we aren't reliant on the federal government. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's a good thing. And I think that maybe for a lot of people it did affect a lot of, maybe they can realize maybe I shouldn't be so dependent on the federal government, Yeah. So I think you can look at it both ways, So if it did affect you, maybe why am I affected so much by what the government does? I understand if you have a job and your job is to work for the federal government, that's different. Yeah. But if it's like a government, like the government shouldn't affect our everyday lives that much.
I don't think so.
Especially a federal government, right?
Definitely don't think so.
And that's a scary thing, because the more and more, we talk about policies and things that are happening, and things as a conservative I'm fighting against is keeping government out of stuff. Yeah. I don't want the government. What if the government's controlling the healthcare? What happens if we have a government shutdown? We just like, well,
no, sorry,
no healthcare for people.
Suck it.
No, but I think that'd be one of the, they have, what do they call it? The, essentials or non-essentials or the
non-essential program.
I guess that would be an essential program or whatever. But like the more things that we have,
depends on who's in charge, right?
Maybe it's not that like, but who's going to determine what's essential for who? Like
universal truths. We come right back to it.
But like, okay, let's say like I want a procedure. Like, okay, I have no clue how this works. Sure. So if there's a government shutdown and there's universal health care, and there's a procedure that you need or something you want to do, but they don't deem it as urgent, and we have a government shutdown, like, are they going to deny you that? Yeah. Because they don't, or does it not affect universal? Would it not affect it at all? You're like, oh, it just runs as normal. Or do they only essential and emergency things, or
I think this is part of like what we're talking about, like what would be considered like common sense. Like, if the president, I don't know who also decides what is essential and non-essential, but I think whoever does decide would be like, all right, obviously I'm not going to shut down, like the healthcare. I'm not going to shut down SSI, anything like that, because if I did, I would have like pitchforks and torches at my doorstep, and I think I would get a lot of hate from my peers as well too. So I think that's kind of like something that would circling back to like, yeah, I get why we have to shut down the government, but we can't shut down all of this. Right. That's common sense in the White House, I guess.
There were like I don't know, I don't get to fault too much. Like the FDA was saying that they don't have enough people to make sure all our food is healthy. Oh, I'm like, there might be unhealthy food on them. I mean, this is some of the things they were saying.
You get E. coli again?
There might be like breakouts of stuff.
Is it E. coli? I've only read it.
It's E. coli's a thing.
Okay.
Are you like how to pronounce it?
Yeah, no, like the romaine lettuce thing?
Yeah.
Okay, because I read it. I'm like, that's E. coli, right? It's not like E. coli or something?
No, yeah, it's E. coli. It's one, yeah. That's so funny.
I've only read it, never said out loud.
But yeah, they were talking about that. Like the FDA doesn't, and then another thing, TSA with like planes and stuff. They're like, oh, we don't have enough people to say that.
I heard
like,
about that.
Flight is going to be safe enough. Like, really? That seems like.
Yeah, that was a big one for me.
Maybe you don't fly, or maybe we don't let people fly.
That was a big one. Yeah, if we're gonna shut down the government, I would keep the TSA agents there. Honestly,
Right.
actually, I don't know.
But then that's the thing, though. Does the TSA need to be under government control? Why not let that be under private?
Yeah, it could either be private or local, I guess.
Private or
from state
government control or whatever. It obviously was funded by the
regional. That's what
federal government. It was the federal government funding it then, because this was
It should definitely be regional though.
Right. Or why even control that all by it?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think the government shutdown was just. I mean, it could happen again. I think we're only a week or two away from it possibly coming back again.
Coming back?
Because they did a partial, or they a 3 week. Let's get the government going again for 3 weeks so we can.
They still didn't agree on the issue.
No. They just said let's get it back on for 3 weeks so we can debate and have discussions, and we might do this all over again. Maybe Trump's talking about it right now. He might be talking about it right now.
Oh man, that's terrible.
It is, right?
Someone was just like, dude, I just need one paycheck and we can go right back to it. And he's like, all right, fine.
Get you a paycheck, yeah. It literally seems like that's what it was. Let's get everybody their paychecks. And
that's ridiculous.
But, I mean.
It means I better file my taxes right now.
While they're accepting it, huh? Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Because I don't know. I know they said that people are still going to get it, but I don't know for sure, but I think someone said that like it might be delayed if the government shut down longer. So I might as well just do it now, just be safe.
I think you should. It's a good idea. I didn't think about that. I need to get on it.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get your W-2s yet?
I did actually from both my jobs.
Oh man, I need to get that.
Yeah. Wait, what? You didn't get yours in the mail?
I don't know. I don't check my mail ever.
Oh, okay. It's been there for like 3 months.
I have a P.O. box that I never check. And then the one here at my place, there's been twice. This is going to be the third that I don't check the mail for so long that the mailman will leave a little note in there saying that, like your mail's at the thing and that we're just not going to accept it no more. Like, cause it's like full and like, they know I never check it.
It leaves a little note. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Like, check your mail.
Are you alive? Are you okay, man?
But like, I don't get as far as here, like I try to give everybody my P.O. box.
Sure.
I don't want no one to know where I live.
Sure.
There's a handful of people in this world that know where I live, man.
Jason knows.
Oh, dude. If he finds out where I live.
I don't know what you're talking about. I deleted all of the texts we've had about your address.
There you go.
But maybe I showed him. Maybe I put my phone down for a second while it was deleting.
But now.
For $50.
So like, it was funny. He was always like, oh, like, you going for lunch, huh? I'm like, yeah, I'm going for lunch. Oh, that's cool. And then like, he's like, well, how long does it take you to get home? I'm like, about this long. And then he's like, oh, I see you drive this way when you leave out this exit. So you're going that way. You live on that side, right? I'm like, yeah, I live on that. I go left when I leave work. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like he has like a dot, like where we work. And then he drew like a big circle that everywhere within 7 minutes there.
2 mile radius within 7 minutes.
And then like he broke down like, oh, if he turns left, he's got to be going this area, right? And then he was just like, oh, there's these apartments right here. Those are pretty nice. Do you live there? I'm like, nope, those aren't the ones I live in. Mm-hmm. But he's getting close.
That's right.
I'll just tell you that right now.
He's got 3 other apartments. Oh, which was there one near here? Is it on the same street?
He picked one like over there somewhere. I don't even want to say too much because
I almost got you to say it. Oh, the apartment next to.
Oh, the one right here next to what's across the street next to that. I can see that what you're doing. Yeah, I can see that apartment from your window. Yeah.
Yeah. What is that? What is that on your door?
When I drive out the driveway, I see that apartment that you're talking about. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, oh man, I've said too much.
Yeah. That's it. He's gonna listen to this and find out now. He's gonna leave you a little present tonight.
He can't know. Oh my gosh, that's scary.
That was a little creepy.
You know what I did? I don't even know I should talk about this. So I left my door open yesterday.
Oh, that. Hold on. Like when you went to work?
No, like last night.
Oh wow! Like open?
So
or unlocked.
So it was unlocked, but my door, you have to slam it really hard for it to shut without lock. So I lock it every time I leave or come in, right? So I don't always slam it enough where it shuts without the lock. So I can lock it without it shutting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So usually I just lock it every time, but I guess I didn't lock it all the way. So if I don't lock it, it's not shutting or, Mm-hmm. So I woke up this morning and my door is open just a couple inches, but it's open. And I live by myself.
Did you freak out?
I was a little creeped out. So I did kind of like walk down the hallway. I was kind of peeking around like,
hello.
And then like I go and shut it and lock it. And I just like check in to make sure nothing was moved
Man.
around. That'd be creepy.
Have you seen The Strangers?
No, I know what you're talking about
man.
though. It's on my queue, a Netflix queue.
Dude, I am anything like that does not sit well with me.
I don't want to watch it now. Should I watch it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
hear it's really good, dude. I just keep adding movies to my Netflix thing.
Yeah.
What is it? Your
My list.
My list.
Yeah.
Is it a queue? I don't like it.
Sure.
Is that a thing? What is it?
I think it was called a queue
Before?
like early Netflix days, if I remember right. Or maybe I'm thinking of some other
I
platform.
don't know why I'm trying to call it that. Yeah, that's what I keep wanting to say.
Fancy
But
British way to say line.
it sounds
Or
better.
My list.
My list. Yeah, I got way too much stuff on there, but then I end up watching like YouTube videos instead.
Dude, oh man. I'm watching, I want to say, and I'm not exaggerating, 8 different shows at the moment. I'm watching
What?
like Mad Men. I'm watching Narcos, You, 3 other shows I can't even remember the names to, but there's like a cartoon and something else I watch
How do
during
you
work.
do that?
Well, they're all like
During
sporadic.
work, you're just like you're walking around
Yeah.
work with your phone on.
Actually, sometimes like today with Bauman, because I can't understand a word he's saying,
Right.
I watched like podcasts or like other shows that kind of catch up in between. But then like I always fight for an hour lunch wherever I work because I like to watch shows and
It's a good way to catch up. Yeah.
Yeah. But then, like with certain people, I might watch certain shows too. So this girl I'm dating, we're watching 3 different shows right now too, because we're like, oh, we
that
feel
makes
like
sense.
this mood, and then I go home, and if I don't want to play games or something, I'll be like, I'm gonna watch this.
So it's just all in the mood you're in. That makes sense.
And then also because I can't, when you're in a relationship or someone you're interested in with, you just kind of you can't like, oh, I can't watch this anymore without them present.
Oh yeah, so you got to watch together. Yeah.
Yeah, I really want to watch Mad Men, but I'm not at her house every day. So I'm just like, God damn it, I really want to watch Mad Men.
I couldn't get into Mad Men.
Really?
Like I watched, it seemed like it was something I would really like, but I just couldn't quite get into it.
I think it's a slow burn of a series.
It seemed like it, and I just didn't give it enough time. I think.
Yeah. I happened to watch it like, scrolling through like AMC. I watched 2 episodes. It was like a marathon for like the series finale or something like that. And I just caught 2 episodes towards the end. And I was like, I'll just see what the hype's about. And those 2 episodes are like one of the last of the 5 episodes. And they were really good.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, damn.
Let me get back to that. Yeah.
I was like, oh, this show's really good. Oh, no.
Speaking of AMC, I just finished Breaking Bad recently.
man.
That's fantastic. Like this is way years later, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's what's great about Netflix. You can go back years later
Oh,
and like watch
def.
things. But that was an amazing show, and so that got me. I'm watching Better Call Saul now. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I've heard it was good.
It's like one of the characters in Breaking Bad. And
Yeah.
He got his own show, and I just started.
Is
that,
it
and that's
Keith
really
or
good.
Sutherland? It kind of looks like the guy I'm picturing, Saul. Kind of looks like either Sutherland. His profile, like at least.
In a weird way, I guess I could see that, but no, it doesn't look like him.
I guess not.
But I can see it a little bit. I guess they're just white guys with blonde hair.
Yeah, reddish blonde hair.
That's
Yeah.
very just white guys.
The bland look.
Dude, one of the things I loved about Breaking Bad was like there's no good people in the show.
Everyone's just terrible.
Everybody, they're just awful people. All of them. Like there's one person I guess you could say that's pretty good, but he doesn't win. Spoiler alert, I guess. I don't know. Like if you just want to see
Sure.
good people do good things, Breaking Bad isn't your show.
Not the show for
If
you.
you want to see bad people do bad things,
Oh yeah.
occasionally get away with it, you're like, dude, you would love
what I
this show. But occasionally, they get what's coming to them.
That's cool.
But
yeah.
then they get away with it again.
And if they gets at dude, every show I watch, like I'm the show You, literally the guy's a stalker.
Yeah.
And I at the end of the series, spoiler,
You're
you're,
just like,
gonna feel bad for
yeah,
him.
stalker.
You're gonna be like, man, that guy. Oh, I'm so sorry, dude. And but then of course, he almost gets caught by the cops, and you're like, all right, yeah, I get it. That's what you get for
That's
being a
what you
stalker.
get, yeah.
If you get caught at any point during the series, I'm like, all right, that's what you get. But if he experiences heartbreak on the way, I'm like, oh, come on, man.
Right. Yeah, there was in the show, Breaking Bad, obviously it's about a guy who's a drug dealer. And the whole series, he does horrible, awful things, and he's a terrible person.
Sure.
And you can imagine the finale. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's coming to a final conclusion, and the stuff hits the fan. Let's just say that, right? It's getting crazy. And
I feel like you gave me a little Easter egg, like someone literally hits the fan and gets
no.
somehow.
Yeah. You throw somebody into a fan, and they, no. But there's a scene at the end, and I think it does a good job of like, you do kind of pull for him most of the way because he's the bad guy, but he's the main character of the show, right? But there's a scene at the end where you just like your heart breaks for the dude, And I'm like, why do I feel this way?
Yeah.
And the people I was watching it with, they were like, I'm like, what?
Oh.
I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, yeah, I kind of feel bad for the dude, right? But like, he's just such a horrible. Like, it was just a rough scene, man. Like because when it comes down to it, he's human, right? Like, you see and that's what's so good about some of these shows. You see the humanity in these people, right? Mm-hmm. And I think if you're a decent person, you can't help whether it's a bad person or not. You don't want to see people go through tough things. You could put yourself in any situation, right?
Yeah.
So like, you see that person going through something like that. I don't want him to win, but man, that was tough to see someone go through something. So like.
What I think is weirder shows that the character is hated so much. A character is hated by so much by other characters, and he, through my eyes, has never done anything wrong. And I'm like, why does everyone hate this guy? I don't get it.
Those are the worst. Yeah, I can't. Well, terrible. I don't know if I'm quite getting what you're talking about, but I'm getting like where the show is definitely pushing someone to be right and someone to be wrong.
Yeah,
and I agree with the person that the show is saying is wrong.
Yeah, and you're
like no. And it's frustrating, man. Like, I will stop watching a show.
Or even like the thing that he's done wrong is like super minor. And you're like, he does not deserve to get killed.
That is not
for laughing at a child on the street. You like little things like that. I'm like, that guy was so.
So are you watching? He laughed at a child on the street?
Random example.
No, don't mess with the child, man.
I was thinking, I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know why I watch all these tween stuff shows.
Riverdale.
I'm trying to avoid that show.
Do it.
Sabrina was really good, and apparently the people that made Riverdale made You, and I'm like, damn, I love both of those shows. So I'm I kind of have to watch Riverdale at this point. But there was this guy, 13 Reasons Why.
Oh yeah.
I think it was in the second season. There's like a creepy guy, right? He takes photos. Like, he's a creep.
Oh, the photographer guy. Yeah,
he's a creep. I get it. That's fine.
Oh yeah,
but
something happens to him.
Despise him.
That should not happen. What happened to him?
You've seen it?
Yes.
Dude, I was like, I get that he's a bad dude.
Don't do that to somebody.
Oh man, that's rough. I'm like, I get why everyone else hates him. Mm-hmm. I don't agree with this. That's worse than like. I'm okay. I like sympathetic characters. We all kind of like the anti-hero. Like we all love Deadpool because he does good things, but sometimes he does
bad things. The bad people though, you want the bad things to happen.
Yeah, he doesn't give them justice. He'll just straight up kill him, and you're like, oh, that's cool. I get that. He shouldn't, but hey, he's an anti-hero.
But what if you just didn't see the side of the people who did the bad thing to the photographer? What if they're just doing their justice? What if they were a vigilante, and if you saw their side of it, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's just like Deadpool. Deadpool just did that thing to him, and that was just funny. And he should have done that.
That's fair. Perspective.
Yeah, exactly. You got the perspective of the guy, the photographer kid that we're talking about. You didn't see the perspective of the people that did something to him.
We kind of saw the perspective of that guy.
Wait, hold on. I might be getting it confused. Who did what to who? But I remember what happened, but I don't remember who did it.
I try not to remember that scene.
Yeah, maybe I did. Don't remind me. I remember it was bad.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, good. Okay, how about that? Okay, let's talk about that. Like, so you want to see, when you're watching shows or movies, you want to see some sort of justice, right?
Sure.
So do you like the shows or movies where like you think like, yeah, like what happened should happen? Like you saw justice, you saw, them get what they deserved or the good guy win, or would you rather just like, oh man, there's just no hope and it's just, you know what I'm saying? Or does that affect you much at all?
It's hard to say. I would say it does. The same way that's the same way shows have their audience drop off after like a wanted relationship finally happens.
Yeah.
And it isn't the series finale. Like in Friends, when someone I didn't really watch Friends. Hate me, whatever. When I think Rachel and someone else got together. I know.
I think Rachel got together with all of them. Except Chandler. No, she got together with Chandler. No,
I'm young, and the Friends version of my generation is Office, and I don't even watch that. So
you don't watch The Office?
Okay, I kind of do.
Like, yeah, you do. Everyone watches The Office,
but not like really. I haven't watched it 5 times over religiously. I've watched like a couple episodes here and there. It's funny.
Dude, every generation. One of the things I love on Netflix is like there's kids I know, like high school kids, like in the youth group and stuff, that watch The Office religiously. And I'm like, yeah. I was your age watching this, I'm like, this is fantastic that it's still like huge, big.
And what kind of upsets me too is that like the reason I didn't watch The Office and Friends or anything like that is because I was upset people spent so much time rewatching the entire series of these shows without like they instead of doing that, branch out and find something else you like.
Right.
I found so many weird, obscure shows that I end up falling in love with because I'm like, okay, can't find anything that I like. Let's just put on something random or like vaguely interesting. And I find like a new show or new characters that I obsess over.
All right. No, that's a good, hold on. Let's get back to, okay. That's a good topic.
Yeah,
I want to go back to that.
Yeah.
I want to get back to that, but I want to go back to your original point for bringing up The Office and Friends and stuff like that. So
like,
you made up the relationships, and once so The Office, that's a big one, right? I think most people would agree like the first half of The Office's 8 seasons were better.
Yeah.
And I think a big part of that was that will they, want they, Jim and Pam thing, right? And once they got together,
they're like, okay,
that relationship wasn't as, as appealing to the audience.
So I think something similar could be said about the antagonists getting their just dues.
Right.
Because like
once that happens in a show, you're just like, huh? Well,
you're like, oh, okay, perfect.
They got it.
Yeah, like the story itself may not be resolved. There might be bigger issues after that, but the big baddie of the show has got his, and you're like, okay, I don't really need to watch this anymore. The main villain.
So that has to happen at the end.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing that happened with The Walking Dead too. Is they kept introducing new and new villains of same things, and like the big bad for the first big bad was the governor. Right? He was the first like big bad guy.
Big
right?
bad,
well,
yeah.
Shane was bad.
No, but that was what was great about the first several seasons of the Walking Dead. There was no big bad. So there was it was a little issue. The walkers were the big bad, and that wasn't getting resolved, right?
Yeah, and they already basically said that would never be resolved.
Right. That's just
the
way we live now, right? And it was all like you said, Shane some people might think Shane was good.
I love Shane.
I think Shane right now in season 7 or whatever would be fantastic.
Oh, dude, yeah. Rick is literally past Shane level from season 1. He's
I think
way past what Shane was.
Season 2, Shane would be a fantastic leader for season 7 of The Walking Dead. Yes. He would be the ideal leader.
He would, if not Rick as well too, like co-leading.
Together, co-leading. If you could have mixed, if they could have just worked it out, man.
I know, and that makes
me
so
upset. It was Lori.
Sad.
They couldn't work it out with Lori.
I've been thinking that ever since Shane was killed. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, Shane's an asshole." I'm like, I don't mean like I get where he's coming from. He experienced a lot of shit.
Well, I think he was ahead of his time in that world, right?
Oh hell
like, because he knew
the horrible things that would come out of it.
Yeah,
so he was prepared.
Rick was still living in the pre-Walker world and trying to like say we can get back to that. We could still live in a world where everything is the same. And Shane's like, hey man, this world's different now, man. And we're not going to get back to that. We gotta change the way we live, right? So I get the idea of trying to hold on, like Rick is trying to hold on to what we have as society and mankind, and we're still this, But yeah, what Shane had was become very helpful now.
Yeah, and I love that they. I don't know if you've seen it. Sadly, even after it got like bad, I still enjoyed it for what it was. But once the popular opinion was that the show was bad, I fell off towards the last season or like I don't know what season, or like 8 or 9. But I did tune into different clips of Rick's last episode.
Right.
I'll spoil that. I don't care. Spoiler alert. Is that he doesn't die, but throughout the episode he's like wounded and he's like bleeding out and he's trying to find his family. I think at this point Carl's already dead. So,
more spoiler alerts. Yeah,
more spoiler for prior season. Judith, well, that's his daughter's
She's
name.
around.
Yeah, he's trying to find Judith. He's just trying to find his family, and then he keeps yelling that out, and he's hallucinating of like a meeting with Herschel because he's long gone. With Shane. When he met with Shane, man, that was like all I've ever wanted of The Walking Dead again. Was them again at Rick's new state of mind, with them agreeing on shit.
Yeah,
and especially when he dropped the bomb, he was like, "You know the baby's mine, Rick." I was like, "Oh no!"
He just said what everybody knew. Though.
Oh no! Don't do it, Shane.
Rick, I know that's a spoiler, but Rick, they're making a movie.
Yeah,
they already announced that Rick's going to be in a movie, so the fact that he's not dead isn't that much of a spoiler.
That's fair. Do they? Yeah, that's fair. But I still would have loved to have seen, dude, if Rick actually died right now and if Shane was still alive, I'd be like, okay. Yeah, like, I'll get used to Shane being the lead, but I get it.
You would be okay with The Walking Dead bringing Shane back from the dead?
No, like, if if he never died.
How could you? You're a writer, dude, okay? I know that. How would you write Shane back in to replace Rick right now as leader of the group?
Well, you see, the only thing that really keeps him dead is this insect that's latched onto their brain. If you get rid of that insect, they can live their normal lives. They're no longer walkers.
But how did Shane get
alien invasion?
Oh, okay.
That's where the walkers are from. Alien invasion.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That's what
this writing thing, man. I don't.
Listen, all right. That's why I don't get paid the big bucks. All right.
Okay. So, yeah. But just in general, like you were saying, like just the whole there's different arcs and shows and stuff like that. And then once certain things get settled,
Yeah.
you also don't want to drag it on too long, right? Like if The Office, for say, like dragged on that Jim and Pam thing for 7 seasons and they never got together or didn't get together, you probably get tired of that, right?
Oh, sure. That's why people got tired of The Walking Dead eventually.
Right. Because they're just doing the same things with different big bads, I guess.
Yeah. I think they were afraid of taking that chance
Right.
of falling off because they have a main conflict that they never addressed.
Yeah.
Another one, also I haven't seen the last season, a relationship one. People strongly want Daryl and Carol together.
Yeah.
Strongly. I don't even know if they've even addressed
I don't think that's going to happen, man.
Yeah, people don't even care about
Maybe
that.
The Walking Dead's holding on to that. Like we still have that.
That's our Jim and Pam moment.
We're going to hold that. We're going to hold. See, well, Jim and Pam, though, again, spoiler alert, Jim turns into kind of an a-hole sometimes,
Sure.
Like, and that's the other thing. Like, seeing Jim not be completely, like, adorable with Pam, I was like, oh, dude, no.
Yeah.
That's what we loved about you in, like, the show. Like,
yeah, he's
honestly,
hurt, and he hurts in return.
Yeah, and that's not cool. Like, I didn't want to see that. That was tough to watch, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but it was good.
Jim's my hero, man. I didn't want to see him do that.
Yeah.
Act like that. And, like, yeah, that was tough.
I can't really think of other shows that have like dragged on too long or like they haven't. A show that's getting there for me right now and I deeply love is The Blacklist. This is one of the few shows on earth that I've rewatched over because it's one of those things that I love the first 2 or 3 seasons like strongly, and then the rest I'm like, okay, yeah, they're good, they're still good, but they're like, if this next season that they're on right now is not the final, they're pushing it. This last season I watched Netflix, they need to wrap things up. Right. As much as I want to watch this show for the rest of my life and have new episodes, I love James Spader so much, but they need to wrap it up.
So so you would prefer that then? You would prefer, let's say, 3 or 4 seasons of
don't do that.
10s. No, I'm asking right now. 3 or 4 seasons of just this show's a 9 and a 10 every season, but then it's over after 4 seasons. Or would you rather get, you get those, but then you get a couple more 6s and 7s after that? And watching a show that I would rate as a 6 and 7 is still solid.
It's still solid.
But is it ruining those first 3 or 4 seasons?
I watch and enjoy less than that on Netflix. So yeah.
Right. So why not then? Why not keep it going? Is there something satisfying about seeing that end on a high though?
I don't know.
People say that about Breaking Bad. They love that it ended. Like it ended in a year where it was winning every Emmy possible. Like they won Best Lead Actor, Supporting Actor, Best Show, Best Drama, whatever. It went out on a high, and that thing AMC easily could have dragged that on for more things. But see, that's what happened though. They're doing that with The Walking Dead, but they cut off Breaking Bad at its high, So Walking Dead is what we're talking about, where they continued and dragged it on. And honestly, I think it's getting better, but
sure.
I'm trying to, I don't know. I love the fact that I got 4 or 5 seasons of awesome Breaking Bad and it ended on a high, and I never felt that it was, like it had its highs and lows, little dips, but it was amazing all the way through.
Also, if you think of like a super long series, I'm thinking of like Doctor Who. Mm-hmm. One of the longest TV series in existence,
like 20-something seasons or something.
Yeah, but their biggest thing is that, even though they're all connected in the same universe, their biggest change to the series is that they'll get a new doctor. That's the biggest thing. And if they don't have a good doctor, people will just be like, oh, I don't, the series is still good. I just don't like that one doctor.
So they could just take that guy out.
Yeah, so they could say the whole series is still good except those 3 seasons with that one guy.
Oh, so they get 3. They can get 3 or 4 seasons, not just 1 season.
Yeah. Oh man. I'm not like a diehard Doctor Who fan.
Whoa,
I love like a good.
I think you got to be all in or nothing, man.
Well, no, because like there's like 2 or 3 doctors I don't care for, and then the rest are like from the 50s, and I'm like, that's a lot of effort to find the episodes and watch them. I'm not going to go back and watch them. So David Eccleston, the first Doctor I saw, that's when I fell in love with it. I'm like, oh, the show's super cool. And David Tennant, my favorite Doctor, he's the best Doctor in existence. And then the next guy, Matt Smith, I don't care for him. He doesn't look good. I don't find him.
He doesn't look good.
He doesn't look cool.
He's not attractive.
He's not attractive at all. I'm just like, and then I just don't like his delivery. So I'm like, I don't even know how many seasons he had. It might have been like 3 or 4.
Did you still watch them all?
No, I just skipped him. I watched 2 episodes with him, then I'm like, I can't watch him and his dynamic. And there was also like a weird trio thing. He brought this couple with him on his adventures, and he was like,
I don't know much about
had a thing with like a girl, but then like the person they were carrying with was like her husband, and then he's like, hey guys, and I don't know, it was weird.
Well, okay, so if you had seen your good doctors in those exact same situations, do you think you would have liked them, or do you think it was the right, like, let's say you put that exact actor in that doctor in the newer situations with the ones you didn't like?
I don't know.
Like, would you have been like, this story still sucks and this is dumb, but this actor's too good for this?
That's a good question. I would say I probably wouldn't like it because the new thing that comes with doctors are the new companions that he brings along too. He'll have several companions throughout, and then sometimes he'll
Like
swap
how
out.
they interact with them and stuff like that.
Yeah. So like, and then at that point too, I could probably say like, yeah, I still love this series and I love this doctor. I just don't like the episodes with this companion.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think like a super long drawn out series like that is different than opposed to like, so like if The Walking Dead still goes for like 30 more seasons, I'm sure eventually he'll still have a strong fan base, but it'll be like, oh, I like The Walking Dead after Rick died. I don't like any of the
separate groups
before.
of fans there, right?
Yeah, once it gets to a certain length.
There's like the OG fans, and then
Yeah,
like the
I've
new
been watching
generation
since day
fans.
one. I hate the new leader who's trying to be Rick. You know, like those.
And then
things
there's
like
those
that.
fans like, oh yeah, the new leader's way better than Rick. You know, Rick
Yeah.
sucks. You know,
So I think
have
like
those groups, yeah.
if those shows I watched eventually got like to super long series like Doctor Who, I think I could definitely enjoy them because they'll find new ways to re-innovate or change up different characters or add new plot points.
So you want the Blacklist to go for 20 seasons?
I would say so. That's
Really?
basically what I'm getting
Okay.
at. If they found new ways, because right now it's getting a little stale. I'm not gonna lie. I still love it, but it's a little stale. But like if they continued with like different characters, like if like the couple of the main characters die or they just go away for a while, and they have new main characters with a new Blacklist or something like that, and it's very intriguing and it has a strong story, I'd be like, oh yeah, hell yeah, keep this going.
Right.
But right now it's the same characters, the same situations. Still love it. I'm not gonna deny that, but it's getting a little.
I think
stale.
you need to branch out from the Blacklist, man.
Oh, I do.
Let it go. Let it die. No, but you said you like. Okay, let's go back to that. You were saying you don't understand, like you don't like watching the same shows over and over and over again.
That's one of the few.
You'd rather watch just something new. See, I'm kind of the opposite.
Your comfort food.
I see when and this is why I don't watch a lot of movies, but why I watch every single movie trailer that ever gets released. I will spend hours watching just movie trailers for movies that I will never watch and enjoy it. Right? I will watch. There's a new show that I'm like I said, my list to watch is a bunch of stuff. I'm like, that seems interesting. That seems interesting.
Yeah.
And every other night I go to that list. I'm like, should I start this? Let's go watch this. I'm going to watch New Girl for the 10th time, like I'm going to go back and watch The Office for the 100th time, and I do that. So like, it's just a different, I don't know. And the movies, again, for me to go watch a movie, I have to have eight recommendations, and the people that gave me the recommendations, I have to trust their judgment, right? And if someone that I don't trust tells me they like it, I'm like, oh, well, guess I'm not watching that, Sorry, even the three people that so yeah, it's tough for me. I'd rather, like you said, for me, it's about, okay, so I feel like I only have a certain amount of time to watch something.
Sure.
Like, I guess I value time. Mm-hmm. And if I feel like I watch something that I know I'm going to like, I feel good with that time.
That's fair. That makes sense.
If I watch something and I invest time into something I didn't like, I'm like, this was just a waste.
Yeah.
I should have been watching, Scrubs again.
Sure.
Could have went back and watched Parks and Recreation. What was I doing?
I think because you know me, I'm very much the same way, very a creature of habit. This is the one aspect of my life where I'm very much like, I don't care if I waste my time. Finding out, growing up as a creative, air quotes,
creative, this guy,
as a wannabe creative,
try to bring aliens into The Walking Dead right now.
Yeah, you know me. As a guy that wants to bring aliens into The Walking Dead, there's so many shows like Doctor Who. Doctor Who, I found just browsing through random cable channels, and I ended up falling in love with it and the series and the characters. And then it's just like things like that make me think like, yeah, I get that I like this show and I like this movie. Then there's a couple of movies that I watch, we watch every now and then. But then there's other things that like, even if I have a stupid long my list on Netflix. Mm-hmm. But like, even if it sucks, I'll watch like 3 or 4 episodes of a season or a series that sucks, and I'll be like, okay, I tried it.
Will you cut it off after like 2 or 3 episodes?
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch an entire series of something that I hate. The only time I did that was Dear White People.
Do you feel like you'll give at least a season though?
That was the one exception, and because of that, I might. Because
it got better.
Yeah, Dear White People, the whole first season wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It was still good. It was still shot really well. I think the story was played out really well. It was super unique. And I was like, I really don't like this story. I don't like the message it's sending, but like it is a good story. Mm-hmm. And I was like, God, I really don't want to watch this. And I kept watching it. Also, this was with my ex. So I was kind of like, it was a couple
forced
thing.
you.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, I want to watch it. I'm like, fuck, okay.
You had to.
Yeah, I think if I wasn't with her, I don't think I would have kept watching it.
Yeah, good thing though.
But then, of course, the second season came out, and she wanted to watch the second season, and that got really good. I was like, oh, this is good. This is both sides of the argument type of thing. This is great.
Okay, so what was the last time you saw something you didn't like though?
Something I didn't like. Oh, I feel like it was.
What was the last show you gave up on? Like you watched a couple and you're like, dude, this or like a movie. Have you ever like stopped in the middle of a movie?
Oh man, a couple.
Can you think of any?
Sometimes it wasn't. I don't think I've ever stopped in the middle of a movie because I didn't like it. I think I stopped because something came up, and because I didn't like it, I didn't go back to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So not necessarily I go ugh and turn it off. I haven't actually been interrupted in a movie for a while though. I think the last show I just dropped because I lost interest was Walking Dead. Sadly.
Really?
Yeah, one of the last 2 or newer seasons.
No, I can get that. I think a lot of people have with Walking Dead.
I don't remember exactly, but like one of the last episodes I saw was Gabriel in the trailer with Negan.
Mm-hmm.
Before
okay. It's not that long ago.
Yeah, it was like it's one or 2 seasons behind. Also Supernatural. I love Supernatural.
Oh, Supernatural. First 4 or 5 seasons, man. Oh, so good.
Solid.
So good.
But then they focus on Christianity too hard and not other things in life, you know? Because they
did what?
Because like this one's for you.
Oh, here we go. You want to fight demons with Islam or what? What do you like? What do you mean they focus on Christianity too much? You wanted other religions to be equally represented in the fighting of demons?
That's right.
Is that what it was?
Well, there was because like,
the atheists wanted equal representation of religions in the TV show. What? What?
That's right.
What is happening?
Well, not just that. You know, like one of the first episodes was like a Wendigo that came from. It doesn't have to be like religion, but like just myths.
Yeah,
like werewolves.
Well, because there were werewolves and stuff like that. Yeah.
It was like cool things, and
like
then
a siren and like things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it was cool when angels and demons got involved. But now that's all the show's about is God, devil, or not even the. Oh yeah, Lucifer's
Lucifer. Yeah.
God's wife, I think, and then and it's only Christianity now.
Yeah.
There's very rarely are vampires and werewolves involved. It's like a small side story,
right?
Or like there were like not elves, fairies and everything like that too.
Yeah,
I was like, man, this show's so cool. But like, and don't be wrong, I love Castiel.
Oh, dude, Castiel.
He's probably the best character.
What are you doing right now?
He's probably the best character. Him, Crowley, and Lucifer are probably some of the best characters.
What was the redheaded girl?
Felicia Day?
Yeah.
I love her. Love her to death.
Yeah,
love her to death.
She was cool.
She introduced me to Critical Role, thank God.
I followed a Tumblr fan page of hers, I think.
Oh, no.
But her character in the show, not the actor.
For Charlie.
Yeah.
And I love all of them, but the show for me at that point got stale when it just started focusing on Christianity.
Well, I think like...
And what sucks too, they killed off the other religious stuff. There was like, I remember there was an episode where they had a meeting of all the leaders of the religion. There was like Zeus there. I don't know the leaders of any other religion. What season did that get into?
I didn't get that far.
It was pretty late.
That had to be 6, after 6. Because I think I watched through 5. I don't remember any of that.
I can't remember the number, but it was when the archangel started getting involved, and one archangel, not even God himself, one archangel killed all of the other leaders of the religion. That's how strong they made Christianity in this show.
Yeah, it is. It's a big deal, man.
Yeah,
you should know.
Crazy.
You should learn a little more about it. No, okay. Well, here's the thing, dude. Okay,
is that your propaganda?
That's my pitch to you for Christianity, dude.
I'm only 1 season behind.
Did you see how big a deal it was in Supernatural? So, no, but well, like in a show like that, when you're dealing with, like you said, you're fighting like fairies and dwarfs and stuff like that. Once you introduce the devil, like you're gonna go back to fighting, little creatures.
They had a great episode after all that where they don't even fight. They
now
have
they're
like
big time. Now they're big time, dude.
That's fair.
Come on.
And plus, but their big mistake.
Once you fight that, maybe that's an example they should have stopped at.
Yeah.
To defeat the devil, like I think
get over it. Yeah, something else.
You kind of won. No, I think you're done. Like the show has to. Like,
oh, you think that was their?
I think
their
that's
dropping
it.
moment.
You should like if you're gonna go. Think about it. Defeat the devil. You got nothing else to defeat, man.
He was one of the main big bads for a while.
Like, I think that has to be. I'm just saying in general. Like
maybe that could be. That could have been it for them.
You can't introduce that and then expect to go back to.
Their big point was that they had too many good characters from that, and so they couldn't get rid of it. So Castiel
became way too popular.
Dude, they were like, no, we can never let him go. We can never let him go. I get that.
That was a good show, though. I haven't watched that. I really want to watch that. I remember someone once said, like a philosopher or something. What was once said? No, but I remember someone telling me, we're in a group talking, and a comment someone said, like, no, I don't want to go. And they were just like, I just want to get Taco Bell and go home and watch Supernatural.
Amen.
Like, I never forgot that. I was like, that sounds fantastic.
That sounds so good right now.
And it's funny. This was years ago. This has to be 5-6 years ago. And I just think about that randomly all the time. When I'm bored, I'm like,
Yeah.
I should just get Taco Bell and go watch Supernatural.
I was so against watching Supernatural because I heard about it when I was in high school, and I only heard about it from like, you know, little tweeny girls, right? Not even like the cool badass chicks.
It was a big deal, yeah.
Yeah, it was like little tweeny. Oh my God,
but that's what you like. Now you know that's what you like.
little tweeny stuff.
You said that's the shows you're into.
I'm not going to confirm or deny that. All right.
I think you did confirm it a little while ago.
I was forced to watch the first season of this show because I had my first hangover when I was a undetermined age. I'm not going to say. And I was at my friend's house, and for some reason, I don't know why, what tasted good for me during this hangover was a gallon of milk and a family-sized bag of Doritos. Not a good combo I would have now.
Family-sized bag of Doritos.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I was there. I was huddled up. It was like dead of winter. I was cold. The heater was on me. I was like sickly on his couch with a blanket over me with those two items in my lap. And he said, "Oh, I finally got you where I want you." And I'm like, "Oh, that's creepy." And then he threw on the first season of Supernatural. And I was like, "Oh God, this is gonna."
That's
suck.
what he meant. That's how you got taken advantage of.
That's right.
By Supernatural.
This is your tape.
He did. Is that where that started?
Yeah, after you know, I was immobile. I was not moving anywhere because I was so hungover.
Like
he knew.
You see, like somebody passed out on the sofa, and someone's like, and you're like, "Oh no, what's gonna happen?" DVD.
You're finally going to watch this show.
You're sitting there with milk and Doritos watching the show you didn't want to watch. I can picture him behind you, like holding your eyes open.
Yeah.
Have you seen Bird Box?
Oh, yeah.
When the guy he's holding your look. You're like hungover with like Dorito chips in your hands. Like,
I know.
The Dorito cheese in your hands.
I don't want to.
Milk coming out of your mouth.
Oh, God. I'm so messy.
You're a disaster in my
I'm hungover. Right now. That's fine.
You're not. It's not a pretty scene. All right.
And after they taped my eyes open for the whole first season, there was dead silent, and they looked over to me. And keep in mind too, we watched the entire first season, so
like just straight.
Yeah, because like we woke up late because we're all hungover. We walked back to his place and we watched it all straight. So it's already super late. I'm pretty sure I fell asleep like kind of through, so I keep waking up to the soundtrack, and I still hear it in my dreams sometimes. And once the whole first season ended, oh yeah. I was like, you better put in that second season right now. I'm not going anywhere. And I became addicted.
Yeah.
I binge watched the rest of the series.
And when you watch it, do you just have like an urge or craving for Doritos?
I do actually sometimes. Yeah, I do. Sometimes when I'm really drunk and someone mentions Supernatural, I'm like, I should get Doritos.
Doritos and milk.
Oh,
do you dip your Dorito in the milk?
No, I'm not a barbarian.
That sounds pretty gross, dude. Wait, no, what was the milk thing you said that you wanted me to try?
I can't comment at the time.
What was the milk thing?
I can't comment at this time. It's a matter of national security.
No, I'm going to remember. Milk and... There's something really gross. Edward told me I needed to try with milk. And milk doesn't mix with anything but cereal and chocolate.
It does this item.
What was it? It was another liquid, wasn't it? Oh, you wanted to mix like Pepsi and milk or something.
Milk and soda. I call it soda milk.
Clever. You are creative.
Hey, can I say... I'm a writer.
Good thing I'm working with you on new things.
That's right.
Soda milk. Aliens in The Walking Dead. I'm
full of them, man.
You're like Nick from New Girl.
You're the first person to tell me that this week.
I'm not.
I'll keep it coming, man.
Maybe we can be Nick and Schmidt, dude.
Oh yeah.
What do they call their thing?
Oh Christ, it's been a while.
Do they mix Nick and Schmidt to get the names?
Nick Mick.
No. What are they called? I could be S man. Does that mean I'm Schmidt?
Oh yeah.
I'm not Schmidt.
Right. That's right.
I think
as long as I'm not the black guy.
I think I'm more Nick. You just don't want to be Winston.
I just don't want to be Coach or Winston. That's all I ever hear. Like, oh yeah, you're Winston. I'm like, no, I'm not. And I watch Winston. Because you're black,
or because you act like them?
I'm actually kind of like.
Or is that why you don't want to be them because they're black?
I don't know why. I'm tired of being the black guy. God damn it! Well, I'm also half white.
You're half black, so.
Yeah. Can I once be the white guy?
Are you with other black people?
You know, I was once the white guy. Right now, you called me Nick. Hell yeah.
I called you the white guy, but I got the Nick Miller hoodie right now though. So.
Oh no.
I
look like Schmidt.
Look at the way we're dressed right now. Okay, I'm wearing
Actually, I think Winston wears something like exactly like this.
Do you want to be Winston?
No.
I'm just saying who's more Nick right now.
You're pretty Nick right now.
I am exactly Nick right now, and you're way more Schmidt than me right now.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
I used to be fat.
Oh,
No,
even
I've never
more?
been fat actually.
No?
I'm getting fat now, but you
That's
know,
not Nick.
I've,
That's not Schmidt.
I started off as a twig. Now I'm becoming a log.
Oh man,
Man,
That's
we
funny.
really went from
Where did we-
politics.
Where did we go? This discussion went kind of got out of control.
I like that though.
No,
I
that's
like to
good.
talk about whatever.
That's where they go.
We really started
Who
talking
knows
about the state of the union,
No, it was even before that. We were talking about like truth and
universal truths.
what common sense and what determines that. And
And now, like, oh yeah, you're totally Nick. I'm Schmidt.
you know, I'm actually, you want
'Cause
to
you're
girl?
black.
Yeah, you drink soda milk. Yeah, that was good though, man.
De-escalation, escalation. You decide.
Yeah, did it escalate or did it get better or good? Yeah, it's up.
They're like, oh god, are they really talking about politics?
Oh, I got bad. Or this could be like, oh, they're talking about that. There we go.
I love New Girl.
Yep. That's up for you to decide. Whoever you is.
Speaking of, you said Endgame earlier.
Oh, are we going there?
Avengers.
Oh my god.
I heard
my
a new.
God.
I heard a new theory.
Oh my god.
You ready for this?
Do we got time for this?
Sure.
This
You
could go
got another
forever.
3 hours?
Yeah. Let's go.
I heard a new theory that you had talked about there was a theory you heard about Loki being the Ant-Man or Paul Rudd in the
Oh
trailer.
yeah, I did.
I heard another weird
No,
theory.
no, not Loki. I said he was a scroll.
Oh, a scroll. That's right. I'm sorry. And there was one that
Just to be clear, it's the first trailer. There's a scene where Scott Lang, Ant-Man, is like at the Avengers, like outside the gate.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
trying to get in. He's like, "Hey, it's me, Scott. Let me in." And I was saying,
live. Ugh.
yeah, and I was saying that there's a possibility because the last we saw of Ant-Man, he was in the quantum realm.
Yeah. I don't know how the hell he would escape.
How would he escape? He's stuck there. So I'm saying, what if that is a scroll pretending to be Scott Lang, knowing that he's not around? You know,
That's fair.
So,
There's no
okay.
way he knows how to escape.
exactly.
There's no way. He literally barely found out how to get there. There's
Yeah.
no he knows how to get out
No, he
without help.
mastered how to like get out
Yeah.
of there. Yeah.
And we know it wasn't like he's been there for 20. Well, oh, actually, this might be what I'm getting into.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, I just
was
wanted to
that-
clear that up. What we were talking about.
Yeah. Was that I think they had vaguely mentioned that there's like a time verse within the quantum realm or like a time
Oh my gosh, yeah.
period, so he could like travel
Well-
time essentially.
Because she says something when he goes in. Don't get caught in the time vortex or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
So it could, but I feel like that's such a cop out to go to like a small. I know the quantum verse sounds kind of weird anyway. It's like so small that there's a whole universe. But then within there is a time portal.
That's just not realistic to you. Really?
The
Really,
shrinking
guy?
man
Really?
is totally fine, but the time portal in the quantum realm is where I draw the line. It doesn't make any sense.
Aliens in The Walking Dead, and what was the other one you said? But time travel, no way. No. I kind of get that is a little. I'm honestly like because there's obviously all the rumors that time travel is going to be involved somehow in some way, and everyone's thinking because the time whatever that they introduce into Ant-Man and the Wasp that's a possibility, right? I think
And they have to use it.
but I don't introducing time travel into anything to me is always
messy.
like I don't like it. I can't see a scenario where I'm gonna be like, yeah, that was done right. Like, you know, like especially here, I don't want to. Like, what are they going to go back in time and kill baby Thanos? That's another thing we can get into. Oh, we're going to go into that. Hold on, maybe that could be for after.
Is Thanos the Hitler of the MCU?
Is Hitler?
He kind of
He
is.
kinda is.
He's worse than
So-
Hitler. I think we could agree that he's worse than Hitler.
Would you go back and kill baby Thanos?
Most def. He killed his mom.
You can kill a baby Thanos.
I don't know if I can.
Why not the theory we talked about before, where you take him and raise him to be a better Thanos?
Because he killed his own mom. There's no helping him at that point.
You stop him he didn't kill him as a baby,
What, like a
like
chicken,
an
like a
infant.
no,
like
a-
he's born.
He was like a couple
And
years.
he's crying, and you're just like, here, baby Thanos,
like, wah,
I'm gonna
wah.
raise you. No. Oh my
He,
gosh.
he had like 10
was
seconds,
horrible.
and he saw his mom, and he's like, ugh. You know?
No, I don't think that's what he did.
He probably literally snapped. He probably just put his fingers around.
That
his
was the
throat.
first snap?
The first snap he practiced
Oh my
on.
gosh. Okay, back to it. What were you saying? That's a whole nother.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I think that that's a theory. I hope they don't, because like you said, once you introduce time travel to a show or a movie, it can get real sloppy real quick.
Yeah.
Now the only thing that they could probably do to make it less, not even that. I was thinking like if he just stumbles upon the time vortex, whatever, and he just happens to be somewhere in a pivotal time that he can make a difference. Is that it closes forever, or he can't go back, or he's like, I'm just never going to tell anyone about this because I'm, because of blah blah blah, and then
Yeah.
they never use it again. That's fine. But once you introduce that, there's always going to be that possibility now of like, oh, someone else is going to pop up now and like change it all, what's canon now.
Right.
Things like that. So I hope that's not true.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. But like, I think the scroll theory can be debunked now because it shows. Well, I guess he could continue to be because Did you see the new Super Bowl trailer?
Actually, no. You
didn't watch it?
I'm pretty. I might have. Was it like the 10-second?
It was
trailer?
like 30 seconds.
Okay, then yeah, I think I saw that one.
Because they show Ant-Man suiting up with War Machine, like they go.
Oh yes, yeah, I saw that one. He's like,
but I guess
not everyone.
Scrolls can continue to live as the person, so it's not like just because he got in, they're like he's gonna go and like do a bunch of weird stuff. He could continue to act like Scott Lang and Ant-Man.
Yeah,
I don't know. What did you say? So you said you're not sure if you saw the. You didn't see the Super Bowl spot?
I didn't watch a lot of the trailers for Super Bowl.
Well, do you remember? Okay, so I'm going to tell you right now kind of what happened. It's it starts with just like New York City, like bleak. It looks like post-apocalyptic New York City.
Oh, okay, sure.
Does it sound familiar to you?
I'm pretty. This does sound very familiar. It's
It's just coming back to you now. It's like dark and like it has all the boats around.
Everyone's doing like a 2-second like little warm up thing. Shoot like Black Widow's on target practice or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. Okay. So, is anything from that? Did you get anything from all that, or was it just a bunch of like, oh, what who's doing what? Who's doing that? And why are they there? Kind of thing.
Who's doing what? I think because I've been seeing a lot of those leaks because there's toys out in a different country about the Avengers in like those white suits.
Right.
I think that's
white suits or the black suits.
White,
silver gray suits.
So the silver gray suits, whatever. Yeah. Those weird uniforms that they have now.
Yeah.
I think that's them using a suit to go to the quantum realm.
Oh.
I thought that was them going to space to fight Thanos. I think it's them going to the quantum realm for something. To go to this. This weird theory I have is that because the quantum realm is so weird and has this big thing, if you go to something in this quantum realm, there's probably like a different dimension down there that Thanos, maybe he didn't kill them. Maybe he snapped 50% of the universe to a different dimension.
Well, they're saying they're in the soul world.
Or into the soul stone, maybe.
They're definitely going to use the quantum realm because they made such a big deal about that place.
Yeah.
And I think that's almost not even fair. Like, I feel like that's lazy because
I think so.
Nobody knows what it does. So you could just make up like, oh, they went into the quantum realm and they fixed it.
Of course there's a time portal there. Yeah.
And it's right here and I can go back to that point and we fixed it.
There's actually a map there. We can show you.
There's a guy there who told us exactly what to do.
Oh, and if you go like a size smaller while you're in the quantum realm, there's a different dimension. You're just in a different dimension.
And you're good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. But so I'm so scared of what's going to happen. Not because like, oh, I'm scared that Steve might die, but I am scared of that. But that's not what I'm scared about. Mainly, I just want it to be amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I think, like this has been built up so much and I'm so scared for the MCU, but they've given me no reason to be. I think we talked about this. Like, you're excited about where the MCU is going.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm terrified because I think it's peaked.
I get what you're saying though. Because like Robert Downey Jr. is MCU. He's the face.
And and Chris Evans.
Oh, yeah.
To another, I think I think obviously Robert Downey Jr. thinks it's the main one, but yeah, like you're going to lose that.
Yeah, but I think we'll grow to find the new face or like just that connection because we don't see them yet.
You watch Doctor Who and that can keep changing and like that doesn't change for me,
dude. If Doctor Strange keeps popping in because like when he was in Thor for like 2 minutes, I was like, oh, dude, this is great. I love Marvel for this reason.
No, but I'm saying as being the reason and like the leading like is T'Challa going to be the new like like the new face of the MCU that everyone loves? Like maybe, but
I don't think that there's a solid face yet.
You don't think there's like
a solid face.
A newer one. Not that any of these are going to evolve into it. You think there's someone we haven't seen?
That's tough.
Maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe Captain Marvel can turn into that.
I think she could because I mean, like the comics have been pushing her hard for like the last 10 years. Like
she
really
is
hard.
Like the savior, right? Like she's supposed to come in and like.
I mean, like she's not that good in the comics, but I mean,
I thought she was like the tightest one in the comims.
Like storyline wise, she's very important to the story.
Like powerful wise,
like she's very powerful, but like everyone hates her.
Really?
Because she's just an SJW agenda, really.
Is she really?
Oh yeah, dude.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, like she's actually cool. Like I like her design, I like her powers, but like they just give her over feminist stories for no reason.
Oh. Oh, they better not do that. MCU.
I don't.
I was gonna say they've avoided like any political things, but
yeah, I was like, but this could be their time to do it.
Civil War did get, but I mean that was just good. I think they did a good job. Like Civil War, I think I'm 100% Team Iron Man. I think they did a good enough job, like kind of showing both sides and making you like understand why each of them did what they did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope they don't go too far.
I think she has potential as long as they don't push anything. As long as she's just badass because she happens to be a female, right. That's fine. But if they start pushing some weird agenda or opinion,
not because she's female, because she's just a good character.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. As long as she's a good character just because, and she happens to be female, that's fine.
That's great.
As long as they don't push something else weirdly, then then she has a lot of potential. She could be the new face or even bigger than Robert.
Bigger than Robert. Yeah, I think they want that. They want her to be.
Oh yeah, she could be. Oh dude, she could literally be the new Superman of Marvel.
Do you think Brie Larson has that though? That personality?
So. I don't know anything about her.
You don't? Yeah. Okay. What about just from the trailers though? Because one of the criticism from the trailers is she doesn't show a lot of personality in the trailers, and she's gotten a lot of crap for that. Like she never smiles, she doesn't tell any jokes, and like she just seems kind of bland, you know. But then everyone else is like, oh, she's a girl, so she has to smile and be, entertained. No, like we want, if she's going to be the face of it, like we've had Robert Downey Jr., who was an extreme personality, has a lot of character. Yeah. And if you want someone to kind of lead, or we're assuming, and a lot of people think she could be that, we kind of need to see that, you need to be a little, especially what we've got from Robert Downey Jr. for the last decade.
I think her biggest obstacle is that in the newest trailer, I think I saw this one as well. I saw a second trailer. I'm sure it was from the Super Bowl.
There's two, yeah.
There was a lot of personality from her. She made like a smile. I don't remember them, and it wasn't. I'm sure it wasn't even like legitly funny, like a lot of Marvel stuff. But like in the time, it's funny. She made a couple jokes, and I saw some personality there. But it was hard to top that.
The second trailer, she did show a little more, but I was still like, I kind of don't know if I get that from her, man.
I think they need to give her a big flaw to work with. Like Iron Man, he's an a-hole.
Yeah,
he's rude and
he's arrogant.
Sometimes he does it way too much, just because it's like the Avengers film and they can't give him like an actual storyline, so they have to just make him the a-hole in the background.
Right.
But like Iron Man #1, the first 5 minutes, you already know he's an a-hole.
Yeah.
He's way too arrogant. If you go into the comics and if you go kind of like Civil War, there's kind of like a vague hint of alcoholism.
Oh, okay.
In the comics, he literally is an alcoholic.
Well, like in the first 5 minutes of Iron Man, he's in the Jeep drinking.
And then his life changes from there. And then like he's still flawed. He still is cocky throughout the rest of the films too. And then they really pick it up towards Civil War from then on.
But that's what's so good about his character, though. Like he shows that, but then they show signs of vulnerability throughout every single Iron Man. Like the second Iron Man, he's dying from the poison that's coming from the thing, like the third Iron Man, he's suffering from like PTSD from what happened in the fight in Avengers, the Battle of New York, Yeah. So like his persona, what he shows to like the Avengers and to the world is, like you said, that cocky a-hole, but he's still struggling with like things, like in Civil War,
that's what we loved
dealing with the issue like of his parents, that's the whole reason he started fighting Bucky, so. Yeah, that's right.
He's like being forced to be mature about being a superhero now, and he didn't want to be, but he was like, I got to be responsible.
And a part of what is for doing that is he feels like he's responsible for what happens.
Yeah,
like he knew the threat was coming, and he felt that, and that he created Ultron because he was trying to eventually save what was coming in the future. Like he knew this was coming, he knew Thanos was coming, so he had to do something. But yeah, like you're right though. I think she does have to have something like that.
Yeah, she needs a big flaw. I mean, like it's cool. Like I think she's badass now. Like I'm excited to see the movie.
I am too. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm super pumped just to see that as a movie. But as far as like being,
but like everyone else has a big flaw.
Yeah, like except Thor, right?
Thor is flawed in general. He is just
you just said you think he's too OP. So
yeah, he's too OP. That's
his
terrible
flaw. No, but he's funny.
But his things too, he's a little entitled, so he's a little arrogant too.
Well, because
that changed after the first film. But that's
because he's from the land, and he's from Odin's son. And
first film that was already done, and I was like, okay. And then second film, I didn't even watch the second film, but I guarantee you, nothing changed with him. He was no longer arrogant.
You didn't see the second film?
He was probably humble,
dude. I haven't even
seen the first one.
There's a whole thing about him you need to watch, dude. You don't understand.
What's his character?
I'm making stuff up, down.
So you don't get him in Civil War.
Oh man,
he wasn't even Civil War. I forgot about that.
Yeah. No, but I don't get an authority. But yeah, I think Captain Marvel. I hope so, man.
She'll become a Thor to me if she doesn't have a flaw.
Yeah.
She'll just be an overpowered nobody to me. I'm like, okay, you have no character.
So do you think they kind of go more like independent, the movies, or do they still overlap them the way like it's still a world in the MCU universe where they're popping into each other's movies. And
Oh, I
it's
really
one
want
huge
that.
thing. You still want that?
Oh, hell, dude, I love that stuff. I live for that because
But
the
they-
comics do that all the time.
But they got a lot of work to do that, though. If you think of all the new characters,
man, yeah.
think about that, though. Okay, so like they did a good job, I think, bringing them together as the Avengers and the original 6 of them or whatever.
Yeah.
But how are you going to get like T'Challa and Superman, or Superman, Spider-Man, and Captain Marvel and the Guardians all in the same like story arc? Like, come on, dude. One's in space, one's in Wakanda, one's in
Yeah.
New York. Captain Marvel, I don't know what she's up to or where she's at now. Like, she hasn't been around for the last MCU.
Yeah.
So how are you going to get them to all come together?
Well, apparently they're talking about doing the 2 different. I read something recently doing 2 different types. They got rid of. I think they're getting rid of phases, and they're just getting 2 arcs, whatever they're calling it.
Okay.
They're doing street level and cosmic level.
Yes.
So they'll, and I think they'll probably pop in more realistically with who's on the street level and who's on the cosmic level. So Guardians and Captain Marvel probably could easily pop up with each other.
They're hanging out, yeah.
I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, Captain Marvel even did a couple comic issues with the Guardians, if I remember right.
And I think the Guardians can bring the funny out in her too.
Sure. Oh
She's
yeah.
doing,
Oh yeah. I'm sure that could be a great combo there.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know where Doctor Strange fits in there. If anything, maybe cosmic. It
No,
makes more
but
sense.
he hangs out. His
He's in New York.
sanctum or what do they call it? Yeah, is in
Yeah.
New York.
I don't know how Spider-Man can help him out. He
They,
doesn't know
they know
magic.
they know each other though.
But now they know each other.
But Mysterio's kind of magic. Maybe Doctor Strange helps out.
Oh, see, there you go.
There we go.
And the 4th Spider-Man film is a team up with Doctor Strange and
That's
Spider-Man.
kind of cool.
That's a
Okay.
great film.
Okay,
right there.
I can see that.
Oh,
or what
yeah.
if Strange pops into the new Spider-Man Far From Home and helps him with Mysterio?
Oh, dude, just real quick. Oh, that would be great too. He doesn't have to be the whole movie. Yeah, just a real quick, like,
yeah.
oh yeah, just here's a stone.
I could do magic too.
Gotcha.
He's like, Doctor Strange taught me this trick. Bah! He shows him a trick and like gets him.
If Spider-Man pulls out some weird, instead of like his web slinging, he shoots out those weird lassos they pull out.
Oh, yeah.
Those red orange lassos. Oh man, that'd be great.
Or he does that thing that Strange does where he holds his hand out and turns his hand. And he does it like, what's happening? No, that'd be kind of cool. So we'll see. And then
excited
there's
for
always
it.
Black Panther too. That's gonna, you were talking about like how it hasn't gotten too political and like, or you thought that Captain Marvel got too political. That was my concern going into Black Panther, and
Oh, yeah.
it didn't do that, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Oh yeah, that's why I liked it so much
Yeah.
too. I was afraid that it was going to be very much like at the times of what America was feeling, right?
Right.
And I was like, that's not bad necessarily, but that's not what I want out of my comic.
I don't want it thrown in my face.
Yeah.
And I think they did a good job. They didn't make certain points, about like colonialism and, the oppressed, black people and stuff like that. But like you said, it wasn't thrown in your face. It was just a part of the story and that's it, and it was good. And I think the first time I watched it, I'm not going to lie, just being honest, I probably did go in a little defensive about it. Like, oh, here we go.
Same.
What am I going to see?
Same.
Looking for, and I don't think I enjoyed the movie quite as much the first time. And I didn't watch it the second time until it came on Netflix. And the second time I watched it, I was like, wow, I really did enjoy this quite a bit more than I did the first time.
Yeah.
And like, it's still not one of my favorite MCU movies.
Still not
but-
Oscar worthy.
No, yeah, gosh. Oh, we're gonna go. Yeah, it's definitely not Oscar worthy, but it's better than I gave it credit for. And
Definitely.
it's like I said, top half of the MCU movies, but still not up there in like my top.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
As soon as they basically established Black Panther being MLK and Killmonger being Malcolm X, I was
Okay.
like, yeah, okay. So you basically pointed out that some views are extreme.
Yeah.
But we should go with Black Panther, who's going the MLK approach, is more peaceful.
I never thought about it that way. Yeah, it's cool.
That's why that's why I enjoyed it so much towards the end of
good.
my first viewing. I was like, oh, they did this. They still addressed the issue of what people wanted this movie to address, and they said, hey, listen, we get where everyone's coming from, but we, just like MLK and Black Panther was saying, like, we got to do this peacefully. You can't just go and like kill and get angry
Right.
and rebel
Justice
and
and-
yeah. Because, people's mindsets go there sometimes. And obviously, not everyone in America is thinking that, but people make claims, amongst certain groups, and you're like, oh boy, I hope this doesn't turn into like some weird war or rebellion. So, I was worried that the movie would kind of turn into something like that and try to like, rise up.
Yeah.
And take back America or something weird like that.
That's weird. You thinking? I never thought of it like, oh, MLK and
Like
And
they're
Malcolm
both
X, wow, yeah.
they're both right in their own respects.
Yeah, yeah.
But like Malcolm X was a bit more extreme, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, brother, you gotta.
Do you think because you're half black, you saw it that way, and I missed it because I'm not? Is that like I don't have that?
Maybe.
Like, man, wow, that's.
maybe?
I mean,
That
yeah,
could be
because
it.
obviously, the black
Well, because I
audience
thought about
was a
it.
big deal for that movie. Like,
I thought about it, because like we all thought what this movie was going to be about, right? Because at the political climate at the time, we all knew when a black
Just
superhero movie came
waiting
out.
for- yeah.
we knew for 100. This was like the election with Hillary and Trump. We're like, we knew 100% what this movie was going to be about, right?
Right.
But then I thought about it. I'm like, well, the villain's black. How are they going to pit these two against each other?
Yeah.
So the entire time I'm like, how are you going to make a black guy go into a black guy?
You don't want to villainize the black guy too much.
Yeah, because how could you, right?
But then you get
they had to give him a half decent point.
Like, yeah, obviously the white guy was a villain too, but they didn't make it like the evil white man was like oppressing. Like, obviously it was brought up and things like that, but if they didn't focus on that part, it still was Killmonger as the main.
I think it's the only reason I noticed it, because I was curious because of what we thought this movie was going to be about. I'm like, well, then how do you pit two black guys against each other if they're trying to push a certain message?
You went way deeper into thinking about it than I did. I just went in like, I don't want to hear it. Just don't give me any stupid SJW crap, and just give me a good superhero movie, because
that's all I want.
I thought Black Panther was like one of the coolest parts of the Civil War.
Oh, hell
when they introduced Black Panther, I was like, dude, he is so tight.
Badass.
Like, T'Challa as T'Challa, and then as Black Panther, I thought he was amazing in Civil War. Mm-hmm. And I thought he was one of the more disappointing parts of Black Panther. Sadly, yeah,
weirdly enough,
Black Panther in Civil War was way tighter than Black Panther in Black Panther. Mm-hmm. Like, Killmonger was a way better character. Shuri was cool. Like all the other characters, like the side characters, I thought were way cooler and interesting than. And Baku was awesome.
It makes me wonder, does he have Batman syndrome, where when you put him in other stories, you're like, oh yeah, it's Black Panther, but then once you go to his own story, you're like, his side characters are cooler.
Yeah. Oh man, maybe
that could be.
I hope they don't do that, because I'd like to see him still. So we'll see what happens in Black Panther 2.
We'll see,
because he didn't really have too much to do in Infinity War, and we'll see what happens in it. Like,
God, no one. I mean, they all just died. Oh, dude, I didn't realize it, and you could say whatever about me noticing things. I didn't notice. All of the new Avengers died. You
didn't notice that was the thing?
Because I was just like, oh man, everyone died. And then 2 weeks later, I'm like, only the original Avengers are left.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, what? That's not coincidence.
Dude, I processed that 3 seconds after it happened.
Because I was just, we all talk about it. And then I was talking with a friend. I'm like, man, I just think it's lame because Doctor Strange just got a movie. Spider-Man just got a movie. Oh my God! All the new
you had to talk it out and process it as it's happening.
One step by step.
Oh, I remember when because I think the order it went Bucky was the first one to go, and then I think was it Falcon was next, and then as soon as Black Panther went, I was like, oh no, this isn't.
I know what's going on.
But then that's what makes you think okay, whoa, something's gonna happen. This isn't right. If they had just did the snap and it was Bucky, Falcon, War Machine. And what's her name, Michonne from the Black Panthers?
Sure, I don't know. I call her Michonne.
Michonne, and then a couple of the other side characters. I'd be like,
oh yeah.
I'd be like, oh man, this happened, and how are they going to deal with it? But once Black Panther and Strange and everyone went, and Spider-Man, oh god, they got to do something. Yeah. That kind of set up. I think it ruined it for a lot of people too, because they know that they're going to have to reverse the snap somehow. Yeah. But I don't get that. But argument. Also, though, I hear a lot of people arguing about that, but I don't get that. In the moment, I was still devastated. Oh yeah, knowing automatically, instantly, as soon as Black Panther went, I'm like, oh, they're going to fix this because Black Panther just made $1 billion. Literally, just made $1 billion. Literally,
there's no way that dust became diamond dust. Yeah,
if they wrote that in, they're going to fix that. They're changing Endgame, they're rewriting Endgame right now to bring them back. Oh yeah, but that it didn't ruin the moment for me. I remember sitting there in the theater after it happened, and I'm like. It was silence, and everyone's just shocked and trying to process what was happening right now, Yeah. And I've never experienced that in a theater before. I've never seen a movie end and no one moved. No one was talking. It was silence.
Everyone, hardcore fans right there go, oh my God.
And obviously no one's getting up to leave because they're waiting for the post-credit scene. Yeah. And everyone's trying to process it. So they're not even talking to each other. You're just kind of looking and
I was the only one in my theater talking. I was like, what the fuck?
You're yelling? Oh my God! Shut up! Shut the guy up right now! Yeah, hold on. You're freaking out.
Super quiet. Oh my God!
No, I was to picture you yelling, jumping on your chair, no, freaking out. Not Spider-Man. No. No, there were probably girls feeling that way.
I think eventually, of course, we all had that thought, but not initially. We're like, oh yeah, of course they're gonna bring it back. Yeah, of course, Black Panther made a lot. They're gonna redo that. But I'm sure they had to do it that way because they knew, because we all knew some people were not going to renew the contracts, Captain and Robert. I call him Robert. I'm going to call him Iron Man or anything.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. Yeah,
Robert and Chris. If that was their final movie, that would have sucked to see them go out like that. For sure. Then we definitely would have been like, oh man, what's going to happen now? Because Chris didn't re-sign his contract, so Captain's not coming back. That must mean they're not going to bring him back. Yeah. But then also, like, I would be pretty mad if that's how all of their characters went out.
That's true. That'd be kind of a lame way to go. Dude, but when Tony got stabbed,
I thought for
did
sure.
Were you just?
I was like, yep, he's not resigning, so that's how he's going to go
Oh
down.
my gosh,
that's
dude,
heartbreaking.
That was devastating.
And then he lived, and I'm like, what the? Then a Titan stabbed you, and he just took it, and he was like, oh, he was like Kylo Ren in Star Wars.
But he just the right spot, man. But he has that little stuff that shoots out. That it's the same stuff that'll fix a hole in a spaceship.
Sure. The xenomorph, whatever, the aliens marine.
And it'll also like heal your wound from getting stabbed by a giant sword. That's so awesome. Whatever that stuff is that he was spraying.
Who do you think they're going to bring in for Endgame?
What do you mean?
New Avengers. Like, do you think they're going to bring in a lot of new characters?
Do you think? I don't know. I hadn't thought about that.
I mean, Captain Marvel, that's a given. They have to.
Yeah.
No way that'd be stupid if they didn't.
I hear they're cutting her out of like some of the trailer scenes. They're saying that she's probably in the background of some of those.
Yeah.
But that they just like
they did with Hulk and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like I think there's a scene in the new one where they're all walking across. Like they're just walking and then it's like the sun and you see them.
Maybe.
And like I was watching a trailer breakdown. They're like, there's a space between these two where a person would fit. That they just like take out Captain Marvel. And then where they're standing there, like I think they were outside the Avengers facility looking up in the air like something's coming.
Oh, it might have been her floating.
No, yeah. But then there was like a spot in the grass. Like there's just this big gap for no reason. Like they're all grouped up in a
perfect circle, but then
then there's one big spot that's missing, and they're like, someone definitely was standing there.
Someone's right here.
So like, yeah, there was just a bunch of stuff like that. So
there's a lot of rumors that of random characters coming in, like Adam Warlock. He's not justified to come in yet. I don't know why he would.
But he exists.
He kind of exists.
They put him in
so
the post credit scene that he's being made right now.
Yeah, that's so weird because I don't know. Another one is the daughter of the side character in Captain Marvel. Her name's Photon.
I don't know.
In the trailer, there's a little black girl that Captain Marvel's talking to with curly hair in the second trailer. And she was like, "How does this look in her new costume?" She's like, "Nice." And she's wearing like a Captain Marvel T-shirt, kind of the little girl. I don't know. Have you seen the black girl that she talks to, the other pilot?
Yeah.
Her name's Maria. She has I think her daughter's name's Maria. In the comics, that girl's daughter becomes a superhero as well too, similar to Captain Marvel.
So there's all kinds of.
Yeah, her name's Photon, which is that black girl's ship. I can't remember her name, so I'm just gonna call her Black Girl. On her ship, it has her name, but her call tag or call sign is Photon.
Oh,
because her daughter eventually becomes that hero, so that's like a little Easter egg. So people are saying that they're gonna recast the girl to modern, because that's
I knew her. Yeah, older.
And then she might join the Avengers, which would be kind of weird to have two cosmic people like that. It would help in the fight, but I think that'd be random. I think Adam could pop up. I think it would be random right now.
I think they're waiting for him.
I think if he popped up, everyone would be like, "Oh, another Thanos. Let's kill him too."
Yeah.
And then
is Adam Warlock bad? I thought he was kind of good though.
From the comics in the past, he's done a bit of both. He's been responsible for tragedies, and then he's done a lot of good things too.
I think they're saving him for Guardians 3 though.
I think so. He's also a Titan
that
like
ever
Thanos,
happens.
so the fight's going to be pretty even if he just jumps in randomly.
Fights Thanos?
Yeah, the fight's going to be
sick.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty even if he randomly came in.
I know.
Well, not with the Infinity Gauntlet, but by himself.
Just mano
y mano.
Titanio
y Titanio.
I saw this quote by Chris Pratt that he's saying Guardians 3 will happen eventually.
Better be with James Gunn.
It's not. James Gunn signed on for Suicide Squad.
I'm gonna watch that because I love James Gunn so much. I wasn't gonna watch the sequel, but they said James Gunn got it. I'm like, damn it, I didn't want to watch this movie.
But now I have to watch it now, right? Okay, well let's go. I want to go into that. But what do you think? Do you think you're talking about characters entering into what new character will introduce? Do you think there's going to be any hints at characters from the Fox deal being? Do you think we'll see anything in Endgame?
They have to hint something, because the deal's going to finish.
They don't have to show someone, but they can hint at something.
I mean, they hinted at Spider-Man way before they got him. They said, "Oh, we have a bug. We already have a bug guy." They can make it super vague like that.
Yeah,
because they were probably already talking about Spider-Man, so they could just keep it something small. They're like, "Oh man, thank God we got rid of Thanos." Anyway, there's mutants now, and then
there's mutants
super vague,
Or something weird happens in the quantum realm. They come out and they're like another reality, and oh, what is this? Or one of them does something weird, and I didn't know I could do that. And they're like, oh,
that is a theory too. That whatever they come back from, if the quantum realm has different dimensions or something like that, that'll introduce the mutants somehow.
It's do you think you don't have to actually show Hugh Jackman running out with blades, but you can hint
because it would be weird to say oh yeah, we've been here all along. Anyway, we're moving past that.
Yeah.
So I think there has to be a reason why they haven't been or shown before, at least, or something like that.
One cool one I've seen is what if because Stark sold his tower, right? And there's a lot of things saying that that's going to be the new what's the Fantastic Four tower called?
Oh, no way, really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Well,
that'd
think
be
about
crazy.
that. Why would Spider-Man Far From Home just randomly? They're just like, oh yeah, Tony's moving his tower. There's a because in the first Spider-Man movie, Lucky or Happy,
That's
they're
right.
moving out of the tower, and they've officially said that they're not in that tower no more. So what do you do with the giant tower? That's just that was his, and now it's gone.
Well, something else popped in mind. That'd be super cool if that's where they put Fantastic Four. That would be a really cool Easter egg. But then also Oscorp.
Oh, Oscorp too?
They haven't put Oscorp in the MCU yet, so
That's
that could be
right.
who buys it. I think the building necessarily doesn't matter, but I think that them saying that is a hint.
It's something. They're
Yeah.
leaving it open for something.
Yeah.
Like, what if they just see like it lighting up a sign lighting up, but you don't know what it is?
Dude.
And it doesn't show you. Like, I don't know what the Oscorp because the Fantastic Four sign is just is it the F or a 4?
I don't know if they have a building with a logo.
They do. They do.
I'm not familiar with
And I don't know,
with
but
their
what
comics
if
so
they
much.
see a sign lighting up,
That'd
but
be
then it
super
stops
cool.
and it doesn't show you what it is? You're like, what did the sign say? I don't know what it said.
That would be crazy.
That'd be sick.
I'm
Like a post-credit scene or something like that, just
I'm very much expecting a Deadpool Easter egg.
yeah.
Just a mention.
Like
Just a mention.
there's all kinds of stuff of people like right now going on. I'm like Wolverine's gonna like Hugh Jackman's still saying little things, in interviews that make them think that he's not done.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, we'll see.
I wouldn't doubt
I'm
it.
excited either
I
way.
think he retired from the role to play it safe because he knew that the X-Men franchise was dipping down.
Right.
And then thankfully Logan was good, even though I haven't seen it. I heard it's good.
You haven't seen Logan? You need to see it.
Because
It's
I
really
hated
good.
X-Men for the last 5 films because they
Dude,
suck.
here's the thing. I do not like Wolverine as a character. I don't like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I didn't like him in any of the
wow.
X-Men movies. No, I didn't like him. But Logan was fantastic.
Oh man, it's that good. You don't even have to care about the character.
I don't like Wolverine at
Damn.
all. But Logan, that's my favorite X-Men movie. Like
That's crazy.
it's fantastic. It's a good movie. It's just a good movie.
Oh man.
We're talking about like a superhero movie that should have been nominated for an Oscar.
Oh,
I would have said Logan over.
over Black Panther.
Oh, what? How dare you? Oh,
We're throwing
what?
hands.
So yeah, dude, go see Logan. By the way, yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh,
What if they revealed what if it wasn't him and they were just some random guy and he's just walking down the street and someone's like, "Hey punk," and he just kind of turns around and pulls out the claws. I'd be like, "That's your reveal?"
Or he just says something like, "Hey, bub," or does he say that like in the thing? You just hear him say that, like you don't see his face or anything.
Oh, gross.
He's a little short guy, because
Oh, yeah,
that was
he
one
was
of the things that
stocky,
were mad
hairy
about, right?
guy.
Because Wolverine's a short, stocky
Oh,
guy.
yeah, he's
and Hugh
super
Jackman's
small.
6'4",
He's like a
giant
Wolverine.
stud, and yeah.
That'd be weird.
It's just
would like
weird
that.
little creepy guy walking by.
You know what? I thought about not to derail too much. I don't really like the X-Men that much.
I don't either.
Even
No.
before, because the movie, the first 2 movies as a kid, I was like, oh, these are super cool. Last Stand was and it got a little weird. And then as I got older, those movies got bad too. Didn't
Yeah.
age well. But even then, Hugh Jackman was Wolverine to me. But I mean, take him out. There's 2 X-Men I care about.
Cyclops sucks.
Yeah, he sucks.
Jean Grey's she's too
She's over
too much, man.
Yeah, she's way too much.
She's too powerful, like you said, and just man.
I hate that
really?
they're jumping straight to Dark Phoenix. It's stupid.
I guess that's still coming
lot.
out. There's a lot of talks of New Mutants being bought by a Netflix or something.
Oh,
or Hulu,
no, I don't think so.
because it's not going to make money, dude.
I
And then, but here's the thing:
would like that though.
if it gets put out in theaters, you're probably not going to go see it in theaters.
Probably not.
But if I told you New Mutants was coming out on Netflix next week, you're going to watch it.
I'm watching it.
You're going to watch
That's
it,
fair.
right?
Yeah.
So that's what they're saying. If you want people to see it,
I don't think it would because they just went through all the trouble to cancel almost all of the Marvel Netflix shows right now. So I don't think
Oh,
that
but
they would do
Hulu could
that.
or someone else could. But it's just a
Yeah.
one time, just a bam,
Real
just
quick.
can get it. Or maybe because it's being bought out by Disney, they put it on the Disney streaming service.
Yeah, maybe that would make more sense. Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be super cool. Super cool Easter egg because they almost have all the characters right now. I think so. The Illuminati in the Marvel MCU is not it's not like Hydra. It's just 6 of the main characters of the MCU that do things that are probably bad, but for the greater good. And it consists of Iron Man, Black Panther, Doctor Strange. So it's basically a person in every field of expertise, kind of like the best person from that field. So they have Iron Man, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Reed
Richards.
Reed
yeah.
Richards, Namor. He's essentially just the Aquaman of
Right,
MCU.
right.
They haven't even got vague. Oh, they could introduce him.
They could bring
That'd
him
be cool.
back. He's pissed that someone said there he's mad because all the dust got into the ocean and polluted his water. So he's pissed at Thanos.
That would be that'd be funny. Oh man, who else is it?
There's 6 of them.
Yeah, I think there's 6. Is
So
that the 5 or 6?
You just need to name more than.
Well, and Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They haven't done him yet, even though we're gonna get him. They name more.
Eventually.
There's someone else.
They have to do Fantastic Four eventually.
But they could do something with the Illuminati. That'd be really cool.
No, I've seen
Or to
that.
start it.
Like I've seen like they put like it's just fan made stuff. They're like, can you imagine if this is our Phase 4? You know, and like they just put like. They put a bunch of movies and you're like, oh, we get people get excited. And I always see Illuminati. I don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
So that's one of the ones that people, I've heard people talking about that.
One of their, I don't remember all their storylines. They do different things that might help out the world. So like they do different things with the Infinity Gauntlet to like hide it or control it. One of the bigger things they did was that they together assessed that the Hulk becomes way too dangerous. So they banish him.
Is this how Planet Hulk starts?
Yep. They kick him off of Earth. Yep.
It was Illuminati that did it. Oh, okay.
I think he eventually finds out, comes back, and like that might be different comic series.
No, I remember reading the Planet Hulk comic storyline.
Yeah, but they started. They're like, he's way too dangerous. Let's like out of here.
Wow.
And then that's how that whole thing starts. I don't know if that's how it officially started at first, but they always change canon, or like they're like, hey, do you remember how Spider-Man got the Venom suit? Here's the explanation 50 years later.
Yeah.
So like I can't remember which one came first, but eventually that was the explanation for Planet Hulk.
Dang, yeah, they could do so much. I hear that they were talking to Kevin Feige?
Sure.
Yeah, Kevin Feige, the guy. They said that they just go on retreats and they'll like go away for the weekend, and they seriously said they just spend the whole weekend coming up with theories and planning like phases and like, stuff that'll never come true, but they'll write it out.
Sure.
And like different scenarios, like if this happens, we could do this. So he said they just have like infinite amount of scenarios. So like everything that fans are thinking of, they've thought of. In every scenario, like Fox buys it out, or we introduce this character, or we don't, or this character is popular. So like nothing's going to surprise them,
Surprise the hell out of us.
Though. Yeah, but I don't think there's a scenario of anything that can happen that they're not prepared for a scenario. Like, okay, well, yeah, but like let's just say like for some reason they're like, we could never make another Black Panther movie. And they're like, okay, we got a scenario for that. I'm not saying that they're going to be okay with it, but they're like, Doctor Strange, we know that they're going to make these movies.
Yeah.
But let's say a scenario, like with what happened with Guardians 3. We don't know what's going to happen with Guardians 3, if it's going to happen. But
they definitely have a plan.
Everyone assumed that Guardians 3 was going to be just, like you were saying, the cosmic side of it. Guardians was supposed to get us to that, And it was always assumed that Guardians 3 was going to be the next movie after the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
That's definitely not happening now. So everyone thought that was their direction. So this thing happened. So Kevin Feige's probably just like, yeah, okay, I got a scenario for that.
Yeah. He
goes through his book and he's like, open it up. Okay, this one. We'll do this one.
We're doing Plan B, subsection 8.
In his book, yeah. Not on his computer, in his book.
This is how we're going to reveal it.
Yeah, so he's ready for that.
Apparently the new thing that they're going to do to like introduce the cosmic stuff is this movie called The Eternals. Never heard of it. Just like Guardians, never heard of it.
I don't know about those guys.
But I'm hopeful because they've proven to me that they know how to do the cosmic side of Marvel. Done very well. At least James Gunn did.
Oh, yes.
I've never heard of that. I don't even know if it's like a comic or just a random group. It's probably something similar to Guardians. For all I know, the Eternals could be that off Guardians Galaxy that had like Sylvester Stallone and all.
Oh, yeah.
That could be their name.
Those
for all I know.
cool.
Well, I know. Oh, no, that's not it. They had a name. They're like Salvagers or something.
Ravengers.
Ravengers. There you go.
Savengers.
Close enough.
Dude, no, yeah. Like, that'd be really cool. We'll see what they do with that. Did you know that Taika Waititi said he's not going to do, they approached him to do Guardians 3 and he said no.
Oh, yeah.
He's all, no, that's James's thing. There's no way I could touch that.
Good.
But that's good. But then also
that's
sucks,
a slap in their face.
But that's also what good director wants to touch that then?
Yeah.
Like if he's that respected then that's his thing and no one wants to touch it because they know that's his, no one wants to do it. And we're not going to get no one good to do it.
Or Disney's going to be like, all right, fine.
But
come on, James.
But he's already doing Suicide. He's in the DCU now. Can he keep jumping back and forth?
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Kevin Feige helped make Justice League, or like one of the main directors helped with, like one of the guys that helped make MCU what it is now helped to make Justice League.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know who. It might be Kevin Feige. But he's one of the main directors, helped them do that. And because what's his name couldn't finish it, so they're like, hey, we just need someone to make this more funny.
No. You're thinking of, okay, he's the director. You're right, but he hasn't come back
Snyder.
though.
Yeah, Zack Snyder had to leave because of family emergency.
And, not Russo.
Russo brothers didn't touch it. No.
Russo brothers have done everything since the first Avengers movie. I know you're talking about. Yeah, they did bring him in,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think he would jump back and forth though.
James Gunn. I mean, I would. I mean, that's a sucky thing. Is like
And if
if
you're
he
James
puts in
Gunn,
so much
you're
effort.
like, screw you now. You know,
Maybe.
if Suicide Squad's a hit,
Yeah, I know, dude. He's gonna be stuck with them.
and the DCU just gonna lock them in.
No, they're gonna pay him so much money, dude.
Yeah, I know. And if it's a hit, if Suicide Squad 2, if he fixes Suicide Squad,
First off, I'm gonna be disappointed with myself for liking it, but then he is gonna get loaded.
this guy is a master genius.
Dude, you know how much money they put towards Wonder Woman? I don't know how much money, but you know how much effort they put to make Wonder Woman 2 like now? They're like, oh
Yeah.
god, this is a hit. Make it now. Make the
Yeah.
sequel right now.
Like, Patty Jenkins got paid.
Oh yeah,
And she was holding out. She was trying to hold out for a little bit, but she got her money.
yeah.
So let's start with that, dude. Okay, so DC. Is there a scenario you think where the DC universe can
Becomes better or matches it.
matches or maybe even tops the MCU?
They need to find their niche.
Dude, they're getting
They're getting there. They're finding their
they're
footing.
on their way up, man. And you like you're a little more optimistic than I am about the future of the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the MCU is giving me no reason whatsoever. If I go to my favorite movies, most of them are in the second half, the newer MCU movies. But you know, who knows what happens after Endgame? And you know, I'm scared of what they're gonna do.
This could be the pancake flip.
Yeah, this could be it. You know, you can see like the chart.
Oh, man.
DC and the MCU kind of peaks and just dips a little bit, but that little dip and the huge
That's-
uptick from the DCU, and they just cross. That and you see the uptick from
You know,
you see the DCU uptick come in there, right? You see it like it's already
Oh, yeah.
there. Like Aquaman made $1 billion.
dude. Okay, first
Aquaman
off,
made $1 billion.
I just saw Aquaman, by the way. Have you seen it?
We talked about it. Yes, I saw it.
We haven't talked about it yet.
Okay, let's talk about this. We haven't. That's
Exclusive.
weird. Yeah, this is legit. Like most of the stuff we talked about, we've generally talked
Kind of touch base on before.
touched. I mean, I don't think we talked about Supernatural before, but
Yeah.
most of we have a general idea of how the other feels about everything we've talked about so far.
Yeah.
This is fresh, new.
You
What
don't
did you
have my
think?
opinion on Aquaman.
I
yet.
have no idea what you feel about Aquaman.
I don't have your opinion on it yet either
We
because
haven't
you're
talked
waiting
about
for me to
okay,
see it.
let's go. What do you think?
It was a terrible fucking movie.
No,
It was a terrible movie.
You're crazy.
It was a terrible movie.
I enjoyed it.
It was a terrible movie. Okay, so there was a
a
lot
movie
going on.
as a film, like it
as
just
a
wasn't
film, okay, I take it back because I've had to make this this distinction before. As a superhero movie, it was terrible.
Okay.
As a good action movie, it was good. I can't
Okay.
remember what movie I talked about that with before. I think it was like Suicide Squad or something like that. It was like a
Okay.
good action film, but not a good superhero movie.
Okay.
Primarily because there was a lot of forced cheesy moments.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you there was more than 5 moments where they have a serious conversation and they're rudely interrupted by a giant explosion. And it got comical to the point where like every time someone's like, yeah, Mira, I'm Jason and this is my Moa. And then like a giant thing. And it was like a terrible.
You just don't like Jason Momoa.
No,
This is
no,
just
I'll be
Jason
honest with
Momoa.
you.
You told me you don't like.
I'm jealous of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would give my life to be like him. I wouldn't have much of a life because I'd be dead. But I would love to be like him. I am jealous of him. I don't like him because I'm jealous of him.
Everybody wants to be him or wants to be with him.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
But then also I don't like Aquaman because we all know he's a lame character.
But Jason Momoa makes him not lame anymore.
No, Jason Momoa makes him a bro. And
Yes.
that's not a way to make a character cool.
No, come on. You didn't enjoy his character at all.
Him going, wow, off of hills.
He only did that
1,000
like
times?
twice.
I don't care. It was more.
Okay.
He did it more than enough in Justice League for me to hate Aquaman
Okay.
for the woos. He doesn't need tattoos and to be shirtless all the time. They're going way too cool with Aquaman. Like they can make him moderately cool to make him like a cool character now,
You're
right?
just jealous of how cool he is, man.
Yes, I am.
I know.
He has like.
That doesn't mean you don't like
know
the
what-
movie.
You know what I really hate? I think the core of why I hate Jason Momoa as Aquaman is because he's normally a blonde character, right? And Jason Momoa is a brunette.
yeah.
So they give him an ombre to try to meet in the middle. So you're telling me Aquaman purposely goes out of his way to dye his hair blonde in strands?
This
the bottom
guy with
half.
science because he's in the ocean. He can't have dark hair.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Either he purposely dyes it.
That's the thing. That's what it is.
That's across the line for me.
That's the science.
The
problem you
entire
have with
movie, because I saw him as Khal Drogo in Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah,
He
I
just
have too.
straight
Yes,
black hair, right?
yes.
And then so this entire movie, because his hair is just always just long and in his face, and I just always see his blonde streaks, and I'm just like, God, he really in this world of hero. If they would have just dyed his hair blonde, then sure, it would look
He
weird.
wouldn't look as good.
Yeah, it wouldn't have looked as good. But at least you don't have to think, man, he really goes to a salon and dyes his hair an ombre. I don't like it.
Is there any scenario in this movie where Jason Momoa going woohoo, jumping off of things,
Dying
and
his
this was
hair.
still a good movie?
Like I said, it's a good action movie. There's a jam packed. I actually liked the fight scene with Black Manta. I like dude. They pulled off Black Manta really well.
Yes, fantastic.
I thought he would be the cheesiest part of the movie.
And this was my issue going into it from watching the trailers. I thought the underwater scenes were too CGI, too lame looking, but the above water stuff was freaking tastic. I thought, like you said, the Black Manta stuff and the scene where they're running through, I don't know where they were at, Italy or whatever.
Yeah,
those were amazing. Like those fight scenes were really good.
Yeah.
And the underwater stuff wasn't as bad as I thought. Like, I'm not saying I enjoyed them that much, but it was just a spectacle enough of something to watch and entertaining to see things blowing up and moving around.
Yeah.
For what I knew it was going to be. I didn't expect a lot from that. So I enjoyed it. Like, I'm not saying it was a good movie or it was well done. I'm saying it's something that I can see myself, if it's on Netflix a year from now, turning it on and like having it on while I'm looking at my computer or doing things, or
background noise,
watching with people, or if I had to go see it again, I'm not going to no, I don't want to see that. It was, I compared to how I thought of Venom. Like,
sure.
It's something
that's what I said before.
I could put it on and watch it and I'll be just fine. And there will be scenes where I'm like, oh, wait, dude, hold on, I want to see a scene. And I'll stop to see a scene and like stuff will happen, but compared to I'm not going to do that with BVS. I'm not going to do that with Suicide Squad, maybe Justice League, no. But I'm thinking of all the even Wonder Woman, I probably wouldn't do that with.
Yeah.
Of all the DCU movie or the DCU, whatever you want to call it, this was probably the one where I'm saying I will put on and enjoy and just have on. And that's why I enjoyed the movie, because I know it's something I will enjoy rewatching again, where all the other ones I won't.
I think the one weird thing that I don't get is that some Marvel movies aren't shot that well. Mm-hmm. Like the newer ones, they're shot very well and they're good superhero movies. But like the earlier ones, they're not shot that well. They have like really weird scenes, weird lighting.
Yeah.
They're still cohesive and they still have like a central feel. That's why that like when they all came together as for Avengers, I'm like, yeah, they still feel right. Yeah. But like with Aquaman, it was shot really well. A lot of the scenes are beautiful, whether they were too CGI or not.
Yeah, like I said, those scenes within like the desert or everything above water, I thought was fantastic. Dude.
Yeah, they're shot real low. Even like that weird like lost like journey to the center of the earth.
Weird
thing that they had. I was like, ooh, this is what the hell? I thought it was weird that there's like some weird vortex in that.
It looked cool though.
Yeah, but it looked cool.
That was dumb. Okay,
it was really dumb, but I was like, this looks beautiful, dude.
It's Aquaman, dude. It's gonna be dumb.
Yeah, they made their costumes a little embellished, but they were cool too. Oh, his mom's outfit when they find her. Oh my god, I was like,
come on, dude. Amber Heard. Come on, man. What's her name? What's her name in the movie? Her character.
Both. I don't care. I don't know the real name.
I'm saying, but Amira, yeah.
Amira?
Dude, she was fantastic.
Yeah,
I thought she was good. What did you think of her and Aquaman, their interactions and their chemistry?
God, they had the most forced tweeny love drama. She fell off a statue and fell backwards. And he just caught her ever so slightly. Oh my god, that was so forced.
Dude, I know, but I loved it. It was okay. Maybe it was
Pepper and Tony had a great arc to fall in love with each other.
You can't compare those.
Yes, you can.
No, I'm not.
Because they got scared together. They got scared together and grabbed each other's hands and go, and they like looked away in embarrassment. Dude, that's in every anime ever. That's in every teen drama story. It was terrible.
They didn't have 3 Iron Man, 3 movies to build that up, all right? Like Pepper and
but Tony they could have started it, right? Yeah, they could have started off as friends, and maybe they became a relationship at the very end. They might be kind of flirty, or like with the third Aquaman movie. I don't know if they'll ever get that, but then third Aquaman, they're like, oh yeah, we're actually together.
Right.
That would have been great. That would have been cool. But no, now it's
yes, it had its flaws. I will admit.
And everything was
shot. You're the one who likes these like teeny.
Listen.
TV show.
Listen, this isn't about me.
All right,
I'm not on trial here.
Exactly, their relationship is exactly what those your TV shows. It's
all right, I might have secretly loved
it. You're just arguing with me. No, all the stuff you're saying, I get. I completely get, but this is where I was talking about the uptick from the DCU and the possible downturn from the MCU. I could see this being the top. I'm not saying Aquaman is as good as any MCU movie will ever be.
Yeah.
Okay. Like the worst MCU movies are still better than the Aquaman.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, but I think it closed the gap just a little bit. Sure. Not from Civil War.
Yeah, this
and
is probably the best DCU movie,
but it's a little closer. a little closer to the bottom of the MCU.
Yeah, this is probably their best film so
Yeah,
far.
I think so.
It's still terrible, but it's way better than Batman vs Superman.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Maybe just because I thought it was slightly better. Well, not slightly. It's quite a bit better, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it gave me hope for Shazam. It gives me hope for the new Wonder Woman. It gives me hope for whatever they decide to do after this.
Sure. They have a lot of potential. They have a lot of good characters to work with that they haven't started yet.
And it seems like that's what they're going with that, where they're going to like, we're not going to just throw Superman and Batman in your face.
Yeah, they got other people to explore.
They did Aquaman and Shazam. What the heck is Shazam?
I never thought there'd be an Aquaman movie, dude.
Yeah.
I don't care if I didn't like it. That's crazy to think about.
What's that? The show Entourage.
Yeah.
They teased an Aquaman movie for being the most ridiculous thing ever. You know?
I remember that.
15 years ago, however old that Entourage show is, an Aquaman movie was a joke. Mm-hmm. The thought of there being an Aquaman movie, and now it made $1 billion.
Yeah.
So.
And also why I don't like it is because it was easy for them, because they literally just made Black Panther with Aquaman. Think about how Black Panther was shot, how it was shown. Think about the storyline. It was literally Aquaman as well, too. Aquaman was literally Black Panther for the underwater city. The hidden underwater city for them.
Fighting for
they had the arena
father,
battle,
the brother, and
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It was literally Black Panther. So they just
cheated.
It
works, dude.
That's right.
Black Panther made $1 billion last year.
Yeah.
Let's make $1 billion this year.
Instead of the Hong Kong chase scene, they had the France or Italy chase scene. Yeah.
Yes. Hey, I think the Italy chase scene was better than the Hong Kong chasing.
I think so too.
Yeah. I'll give it that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually I'm pretty excited for Shazam though.
I am too. I'm in this, like, I was already watched the trailers and thought it was kind of fun and interesting, but the fact that this is good makes me think like, oh, this could be good too. Like, and I think that it gets people's expectations, and I think that it could have a ripple effect on the rest of the movies, as people that may have been on the edge of seeing Shazam, maybe like, oh, Aquaman was fine, maybe I will go see it now. Or it could take those people in the middle and push them to go see it.
Yeah.
So I hope it does that for Shazam.
What I'm not excited about though is that, so like, imagine like Man of Steel.
Okay.
Imagine that feel, because that's what I feel like the DC should have been for all of their films, right?
Yeah.
Like the more serious, like the Dark Knight feel, right? They wanted the rip off of Christian Bale aesthetic, and they wanted to make an entire universe out of that.
Yeah.
That's fine. But then I still would have been excited for Shazam, just because I feel like that's right for his character, but it definitely would not have fit with the thing. I think Shazam fits perfectly in the MCU. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense for his character, but like the feel of his film makes perfect sense, because it's lighthearted, it's comedic, but it's probably going to have a serious tone and a good message to it too. And it looks well shot already, just from the few shots I've seen on the trailer.
It looks good.
And it looks intimate too, because he's a superhero. He's learning, he's gathering his footsteps, and it's, there's no weird CGI battles. There's a really weird bodysuit. The bodysuit really bothers me.
Oh, he's all big and like weird.
I'll give Jason credit. Jason Momoa is ripped as all hell, and he's like tied up. He's a badass. I know that. And he doesn't need a bodysuit. This guy looks funny, but he has like some weird stocky bodysuit. I'm pretty sure.
They said I saw pictures of him in the gym, dude.
I'm looking at this trailer. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the bodysuit.
If he takes off the suit and he goes shirtless and he's that ripped, dude,
I'm gonna eat my words.
The girls are gonna come out for that.
That's right. They're gonna drop.
Honestly,
Aquaman.
That was a huge thing for Aquaman. They said there were just like girls going, like groups of girls having a girls' night out to go see Aquaman because of Jason Momoa.
Sure, I wouldn't doubt it.
Like it's crazy what like a group of people like attached to a movie for some reason can do for the box office. It's crazy.
The week of, our coworkers would not shut up about him.
Really?
Christ almighty. Gosh. Yeah.
How many times they go?
God, I don't know. Probably. Like, I know. One of our coworkers went at least twice a week. And not twice a week. That's.
I was like, oh my gosh, still.
She went twice.
I'm like, bro, just find a bootleg online. I'll find one for you.
Save some money.
That's crazy. Yeah, but I think that was definitely a big deal for Aquaman. I don't know what group Shazam's gonna draw in.
I think it's gonna draw in the MCU fans because it's different. Yeah. I think it's gonna draw in hopeful fans of the DC. Mm-hmm. I think it's gonna be a good film. I think people gave it a lot of hate for some reason. I don't know why, honestly. It got a lot of negative reviews when it was teased.
The Shazam?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. I don't know. We'll see. But you definitely see the shift from the MCU, though. It's going away from that. Or the DCU. It's going away from, like you said, the serious.
Yeah.
And that's why we haven't seen Man of Steel 2.
Yeah, that is true.
And everyone's still craving for that Man of Steel 2. Everyone wants it, but you can't, like you said, having a Man of Steel 2 with the same tone it had of the first Man of Steel will not mix well with Jason Momoa and Shazam and Suicide Squad, whatever they're going to bring, you know?
Yeah. Man of Steel was the first time they made me like Superman. Like, it was still very flawed.
Yeah.
But
I like Man of Steel. I did.
I liked it a lot, though. I think, there's still a lot of flaws. And, like, there's a lot of flaws with anything, obviously. Marvel movies, chock full of them.
Yeah.
I have a lot of problems with a lot of MCU movies.
Perfect.
But, like, I don't know. I had a different... it was the first time that he wasn't just some guy in spandex that goes, ha-ha,
I'm here to save the day.
Yeah. So I was like, this is actually really cool. And there was consequences.
Yeah.
He made stupid choices, which doesn't make sense for his character, but I don't care. But yeah, I think it might be too late for that too. Like you said, I think it's not going to fit the tone anymore, or at least it's not going to be the same.
And honestly, it's hard to think of Batman in that tone too.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Like you can't do Batman like that either. We've only had the dark, gritty, like brooding Bruce Wayne Batman,
for like the last 20 years.
Forever. Like you can't have him jumping around and being fun with
unless you bring back Adam West.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, there was a tone shift that way. Maybe we can go back to a goofier
super gradual tone shift.
Yeah.
The movies had to literally get darker with Tim Burton. Like they were
Literally
still lighthearted,
darker,
but they had to literally tone down the lighting on the scenes.
Yeah, but they were goofy then, but then they got darker, but then the actual
Nolan came along.
Everything got darker. Maybe it goes back. Yeah, but they're not, I don't think they have any plans. Well, no. They are doing a Batman. What's that? The director, I can't remember, but they did say they're going to do a Batman, and I don't think Ben Affleck's going to. They're saying it doesn't look like they're going to make it a young Batman.
I think the next some film has it's either like a prequel story, like it's a younger Batman,
maybe.
And then, but they said depending if that does well, then they might ask him to come back as Batman.
Who?
Affleck.
Affleck? I think Affleck's got to be done, man.
I would drop, dude.
I think they got to move on.
But then also, like, what do you do? Like the company has to say, like, hey, listen, like, we're kind of picking up a little bit of speed now. Like, we were doing pretty bad. We're getting some likable reviews now. Do they keep on trucking? Like, how do you make a DC without Superman and Batman,
I think you got to go for a while, man. It's working. Think about it. Okay, like...
That means no more crossover events for them, though.
Not for a while.
At least not meaningful.
Like, if they do a next Justice League, it needs to be, like, 2024 or something. Like, like literally 4 years from now, 3 years from now.
Yeah.
Like, if they do a Justice League 2022, I think that's way too soon. Like, so they have Shazam coming out this year, Wonder Woman next year, and then the following year is going to be Suicide Squad and Birds of Prey. Did you see that they're doing a Birds of Prey?
I saw the teaser. I thought there was supposed to be a trailer for that.
No, it was just like 2 scenes of her like throwing the bat around. We'll see I don't know what that's going to be like. That's weird to me.
I don't like that Harley Quinn. I don't like that Joker and that Harley
Everyone
Quinn.
loves the Harley Quinn. It's weird.
Don't get it.
Everyone loves the Margot Robbie.
I just don't like
I think
her,
they like Margot Robbie.
Sure, no, like she's good.
Yeah.
She's a good actress. I don't like the Harley. I don't like her because of her costume. They make her like I get that she is dizzy, but like they make her like slutty almost for no reason. I don't like that.
Yeah, this seems like they're going to run with that though.
I don't like
from the pictures.
I'll still probably watch it if I can get over that. That's fine. I like if she gets to like a normal costume or anything like that. That was just the other thing. I was just like,
but that's who she is, though, right? Like that's her.
Not like to dress like
not
that.
Slutty, I guess. Yeah, but you're like she's real like
she's ditzy though. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. That's fine. They even had like, and then when they did the flashback to show their like classic costumes, I was just like, just wear that or something. I know it's weird, but like wear that at least. But,
the flashback scene. That would have been honestly, that
would have been cooler in my opinion.
A little bit. Like
a bit more realistic. Maybe not the hat. Maybe like a weird onesie that had that same design.
Like it's a little darker, creepier. Where this one's more like it's a twisted kind of like crazy dark. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, I'm gonna come across where like her and Joker now were supposed to be like their crazy was over the top crazy. Like you know what I'm saying? Like where like you could have the darker crazy, where like crazy. You know? I know you like that.
That's right.
I'm doing a horrible job explaining this, but you kind of get what I'm saying? Like the different craziness of the two you can have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I would prefer I'm thinking about that just that little flashback scene. Yeah, that
would have been
that
better.
version of Joker and Harley Quinn would be way cooler.
I also don't like Jared Leto as the Joker. That's terrible.
No, he was awful.
But I would watch Birds of Prey because of the other characters. Because a Huntress,
they're gonna introduce like.
I just want to see how they would do it. Like if they all look terrible and are terrible characters and it's a bad movie, I'll drop it from existence. But I just want to see how like I don't have high hopes. The way they portrayed Harley and Joker, I don't have high hopes for these other characters.
But I think they'll fix it.
Yeah. I wonder if Batgirl's going to be in it.
They might.
Because she is in the Birds of Prey, so I'm wondering if they're going to... Oh, man. I think they'll introduce her.
I think they are, dude. I really think they will.
That's crazy.
And then, again, whatever James Gunn does with Suicide Squad 3...
That's going to make a big impact.
Oh, what about the Joker movie coming out? That's this year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they said it's not going to be related, so that's interesting.
A Joker origin movie.
Oh, it's strange, but I mean, I like that. I like that they're going for something that isn't... Because, you know, if they had a Jared Leto origin movie, fucking kill me. I would never.
That would be horrible.
It'd be terrible. But I like the direction, or I like the tone this is setting at the very least. Mm-hmm. It has the Dark Knight vibe to it.
Yeah, definitely.
In a very simplistic, like, because like Dark Knight was simplistic. Like the more, like these new DC movies are very fantastical. Mm-hmm. They're very, you know, over the top on purpose because they're superhero movies, which makes sense. But like they said, hey, how could Batman work in real life?
Yeah.
And then they made the Dark Knight. So it looks like they're going for, I mean, just by the look and the design of him, it looks like they're going like that right now with, I don't even know the guy's name.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah,
the actor.
It's a very interesting choice, and he has a very interesting design. I like it. I like it though.
Yeah, I think it's going to be unique. Good. And I think it's going to be like, well, like we haven't even seen a full trailer yet, but it'll be funny to see or interesting to see what that ends up looking like. But I think it's definitely going to get everyone's interest.
Oh yeah,
people are going to go out and see it. Like this trailer is going to have to be pretty bad for it to not get people excited about it.
Seriously.
But yeah, that'll be cool.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there isn't an origin for the Joker in the comics.
There's no like. I
don't think there is an origin. So I think if I remember right, people are upset about that because they're like, there's no canon origin or explanation for him.
And that's the great thing about him, right? Like people don't know.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the cool things about him in the was it Dark Knight? Mm-hmm. Yeah. His Joker, like he kept telling the different stories, right?
Yeah.
And every time he told one, you're like, oh, like, and then he told another one, oh wait, what? And then like he gets on another one.
Yeah.
And that kept it interesting.
The only thing that
there's something scary in the mystery of not knowing why he's the way he is. You know?
Why he's psychotic, how he got to that point. The only thing you ever really know as far as an origin was that he was a mobster and that he fell into the Acme, thing. But then even then, we don't know about like his uprising as far as I'm concerned. Take it back. I'm remembering more of an origin the more I think about it.
The Jack Nicholson one did have a little bit, right?
I don't know if that's canon. I don't know. I don't even know what's considered canon though.
Yeah. If it was in a comic book somewhere.
Yeah. He was the original Red Hood as a mobster. So he was
I thought Red Hood was a Robin.
Yeah. No. In the comic, I don't even know if this is the comics or the animated series, but when he was just a mobster, he went by the Red Hood. And then I don't know if he dropped it or whatever, but eventually he died or just became the Joker. And because Jason Todd was killed by the Joker and he came back to life somehow, he was in hiding for a while. And so he took the identity of Red Hood for a while. And then people found out he was Jason Todd and he just kept the identity as Red Hood.
That's it. I want them to do a Red Hood.
That'd be cool.
Because there was a lot of, especially after Batman versus Superman, because, they had the suit of the Robin suit. And then what did it say? Like, was it written on it?
Last to laugh. I don't know. Yeah. Something like that.
There's a lot. I've always, I don't know much about that storyline, but the little bit that I got, that I've heard, seems super interesting. I think that'd be so cool to go with. Did you watch a lot of the Batman animated series?
Oh, yeah.
And there's a scene that's going around. It's all over Instagram and Facebook. I see all the time. And it's a scene, I guess, where Joker takes a young Robin, I guess, and he kidnapped him, but then he played with his mind and turned him into a Joker.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? And then he shoots Joker, and then he's sitting there laughing and it's all twisted and Batman goes and hugs him or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, that is one of that got my, just so creepy. And that was a cartoon for kids.
Yeah.
And I watched that recently.
The unrated version is a bit worse.
Really?
It's slightly. I think they actually show blood. But
are you talking about the Killing Joke?
No. The same thing.
There's an unrated.
There's because they had to make it friendly for kids. But I think there's a weirder, badder version that was released, and they're let's make it even more PG. And so they kind of edited some things.
Yeah.
I think I don't know because if I remember right, in the unrated version, he had like the bang gun and it shot out like a torpedo and it stabbed him.
Yeah.
If I remember right, in the G-rated or whatever, he actually pulled out the gun and went bang, but it scared the Joker and he backed up into like wires that like scooted him or something like that.
Okay.
Like little things like that.
Yeah.
It's still him dying, but he dies off camera instead of getting stabbed. Apparently, I know way more about the Robins than I knew about Batman himself.
Wow.
So there's 4 different main Robins. There's even more, but
I think there's 2 main ones, isn't there?
There's 4 main ones now. So the first one is Dick Grayson. He becomes Nightwing.
Yeah.
There's Jason Todd, who dies and becomes Red Hood.
Those are the only 2 I know. I didn't know there was 4. Okay.
Yeah, they kept going after the Jason Todd thing. Because Jason was dead for a while and he was killed. Like Nightwing or Dick Grayson, he just left. So Batman was like upset, but he's like, "Oh, okay, it happened." Yeah. And then Jason came along, but he was killed, so he was like lost. He was lost for a bit. And Tim Drake came out, and that's the third Robin. His name's Tim Drake. He's the youngest, but the smartest. He's not the best at fighting, but he's the smartest of the Robins. He came along because he saw how, like, he actually found out how he's as smart. He found out who Batman was. He's like, "Oh, it's Bruce Wayne. It's definitely Bruce Wayne." And he saw how lost he was, and he's like, "Hey, I'm here to step up. I'm going to be a Robin."
Okay.
And he did. He eventually becomes his own kind of hero. He still works with Batman closely, but he becomes Red Robin. He becomes like the leader of the Bat family.
He's Red Robin? Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yum.
Yeah.
But then after he does that, he kind of separates for a bit. Bruce Wayne finds out he has a son with Ra's al Ghul's daughter,
wow.
and his name's Damian Wayne.
That doesn't, with the name Damian, that can't turn out too well.
Yeah, he's the son of Ra's al Ghul, I think is like head of the snake or head of the devil or something like that. So Damian was the son, technically, of kind of the devil. He ends up dying too. I think his mom kills him.
Wow. Yeah, they should. I really wish they would. Well, maybe in the future that could. Honestly, that's such a big like story arc. Like if they did ever introduce, years from now, a new Batman, and they wanted to go that way, that would be a big thing. Like if you wanted a big really like, because like eventually the DCU doing all these individual movies, which it looks like they're going to, which is great. That's good. Do that for several years, but I think that could be a big one, right?
That could be a good one.
Doing stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
because eventually people are going to want something bigger than these little.
Yeah, they'll want the team up again.
They want something. Well, I mean, it's not even like a team up if you do that, but it's just a big event, right? Or just having that. I think that'd be cool. And I don't know much about that, so that'd be interesting for me to like dig into like how that goes.
If I remember right, that one took place during a Batman Beyond movie or show. Because I think that Robin eventually had something changed in him and he becomes the Joker, but they don't know it for a while. So if they did a Batman Beyond movie, I'd be down for that, but they would have to get their stuff together. I don't want them even looking at Batman Beyond until they have the MCU.
What do you think about them probably doing it like as a cartoon, a new cartoon movies, kind of outside of the DCU, kind of like Spider-Man did in the Spider-Verse?
That'd be fine. The DC animated movies or their movies and shows are fantastic.
Yeah, but great. But they don't make them big like big movies, right? That are like
Spider-Verse. No.
Well, what if they did something like that they actually put in? It's like mainstream and gets box office numbers.
It would have to be.
Do you want them to mess with that? See, I don't know.
I don't know anything what they know, man.
If it's a movie, though, they can do it.
Yeah, but I want them to make it a TV show again. They already had the show. Just bring the show back.
Well, they do have the DC streaming service, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Young Justice is really good, dude.
Is it?
It's really good. I don't know about the third season. The first 2 were on Netflix. I don't know if they're still on there. The first 2 seasons.
No, it's not a Young Justice. That's not what I'm thinking of. Then there's one that's on the DC. Is that the same thing?
It's on there.
Teen Titans? No.
There's Teen Titans and Young Justice. They're basically the same.
Are they on the DC?
They're both on the DC
streaming service.
I don't know, actually. So the one that's on Cartoon Network was Teen Titans Go, the kiddish version that people hated. Before that was the original anime-looking Teen Titans.
No, but there's like a live action real, like it's kind of a grittier.
Dude, I forgot about that. Yeah, they have a live action Teen Titans show.
That's on the DC
gross
network.
That's terrible, man.
People were mad because like the young Robin said F Batman or something like that. Everyone's like, really, dude, you guys are getting a little too much. Because
of the trailer and how they look, their costume design, I just refuse to watch it. I don't even care if it turns out to be good.
You got to have DC streaming service though.
Nah, I'm not going. Oh, well, good.
What I hear is like they didn't even put it all out at once. They did a week-to-week release too, and that was dumb.
Oh my god!
Like they better not start doing this with streaming services.
They better not.
That's what I love about it. You could just binge watch the whole thing. I hate waiting week to week to see stuff.
But then also, I mean, I've been playing with that idea with myself though, because I binged a lot of shows sometimes, and I'm just like, man, that's it.
But I think I think they can make them better though. I think that it enhances the experience.
I think so too. Especially if you get to watch it on your terms.
And honestly, I think that helped me watching The Walking Dead, and I would encourage you to watch the newer seasons, at least the last season, to get caught up. Like the newest season, I watched that straight because I wasn't caught up, and I think the fact that I was able to like go right into the next one, it kind of helps. Like I think watching something, and if it doesn't like give you what you want or like resolve something, it leaves you like and if it's not big enough of a like, you know, what's the thing that happens at the end of something and it leaves you hanging? What's that called? Cliffhanger. Gosh, dang it, dude. Wow, it's getting late. I'm tired.
Amen.
Yeah, if it's not a big enough cliffhanger to keep you that interested, and it's just like an end, and you're like, oh, what happened? You know. And I think a lot of TV shows do that because you can't leave a huge cliffhanger every week. You know.
Yeah, that's fair.
So if you could binge watch it, it puts you into it, and you don't get that waiting. You know.
Yeah, I get that.
I think that helps, and I want to keep that going because if there's a show you really like, there's nothing like that being 2 a.m. and you're like,
I'm gonna watch another.
Can I get one more? Just one more, but I gotta get up in a few hours.
I'm gonna stick it through. That's true. I'm doing that every night now.
There's nothing. See,
doesn't beat it.
I got nothing right now.
Oh man, I can give you a lot of suggestions.
It's me on YouTube videos. You can. It's not because I don't have stuff on my list that I want to watch.
That's fair. Yeah, that's true.
But what's weird? If I watch something new, it needs my 100% attention. If I'm half tired, like I don't know. I'm kind of going to lay here a little bit, and I don't want to watch anything new.
Yeah.
I want to watch something new if I'm wide awake and feeling like exploring.
Yeah, especially for me because like I'll fall asleep during a show, and I hate going back to like, oh god, where was the last thing I remember?
But if it's a new girl episode that I've seen 100 times, like whatever, sure, I'll start on the next one.
Yeah.
I've seen that. Oh man, that got pretty nerdy.
Yeah, I think it did. I think it went.
It started
politically. It went to pop culture.
I wonder what Trump said tonight.
I kind of don't want to know.
Hold on, real quick. Let me see what's trending on Twitter, real quick.
Let's see.
That's just the one thing I want to see.
Did the Capitol blow up?
Is designated survivor happening right now?
Is Keith Sunderland being imported to the White House right now?
Dude, that could have been happening. We don't know because we're recording.
Dude, that would have been insane if something crazy like that happened. I actually would have, we could have put this podcast out there and be like, oh yeah, two oblivious guys talk about Marvel stuff while the Capitol is being blown up.
The world is ending. Stacey Abrams is something? I'm not even sure who that is.
Stacey Abrams? Is that an adult actress? What was that?
No, man, she's not like a politician.
Oh, okay. Didn't Trump sleep with the porn star?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
I vaguely.
You really don't know much about what's going on.
No, I don't.
What was her name?
I don't keep up with a lot of stuff. Says the guy who talked about 20 different theories about what's going to happen.
Right.
I don't keep up with a lot of stuff now.
So somebody said, State of the Union so far, he's sniffing like a coke fiend.
Oh, hello.
What? Nancy Pelosi has had enough of this. Ben Carson doesn't know how to clap. Rick Perry sucks. F. Brent Kavanaugh. Trump only cares about prison reform because he's going to prison.
Oh.
And it's only 9:30.
Damn. Jesus. When did it start?
It's a while ago. I don't know how long this has been going for. Yeah, someone didn't have a very good... Well, it's one of those things. It depends who you listen to. I can go to conservative Twitter right now, and they're going to say good stuff. I can go to just Twitter.
Go to Black Twitter.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Is it really a thing?
Oh, yeah, I do. From what I've heard, I don't even go on
Twitter. How do you do that?
I don't know. I mean, it's just recommendations.
I don't want to Google Black Twitter.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure. Wait, so is that like a different app?
No, not literally.
Oh.
It's just like, you go in a weird realm
I thought it was like, you can like change your backgrounds on a thing? But it's literally just like changing the whole app?
Yeah.
Like on YouTube, you have different accounts.
Yeah.
You can switch. I don't know if you've ever done that. Because I created one for the podcast, the YouTube account. So I have my personal and my moderately entertaining one. And you could switch between accounts. I kind of imagined it like that.
Not directly.
I could switch over to Black YouTube.
No, that would be cool though.
That's not how it works.
That'd be cool if you could switch over things. No, it's just like what you delve yourself into, or like the stuff you recommended. If you talk about a lot of black issues or Black Lives Matters or a lot of black comedy.
So it's just like your recommendations is whatever Twitter you're in. Whatever
you follow, whatever was recommended to.
Like your suggestions on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like so.
Yeah.
I think I talked to you about this. Mine is full of like social political stuff. soccer videos and hair tutorials and like hair products and stuff like that.
You would be on the hair tutorial Twitter.
Yeah.
But
it's a weird
it was
mix
that big.
of politics, soccer, and hair stuff. So like, that's basically what mine is.
Oh, political Twitter is the worst, dude. It's gross. Because it's not even funny. It's just people it's just grown adults and women, grown men and women.
Stuff.
Actual, like, the congresswoman will just be like, I don't think it's funny that President Trump said blah, blah, blah. And you're like, okay. You don't need to tweet about that, but okay.
But you do. Now,
but that's all Twitter is, though, is stuff that you don't need to say.
You have to nowadays.
Nah.
Dude, Twitter and like social media is just... What do you think of that? How about that? Do you think
I've never tweeted.
Social media is good?
I've never tweeted.
You've never tweeted?
Yeah.
But you have a Twitter and you follow and you look at things, right?
Yeah, I had a Twitter.
It affects your life, though.
Not anymore. I have deactivated it years ago. Yeah.
You don't look at Twitter?
No, I only signed up for Twitter to follow up developments and leaks on this game I was interested in.
That's why,
years ago, yeah. Otherwise, I never would have even made it.
But you're also not too concerned about the day-to-day stuff that's happening.
No, I don't care. I have Facebook and Instagram for memes and funny stuff and YouTube and all that. So that's the only reason I use social media is for funny stuff.
It's weird. I use Twitter
to occasionally talk to a friend or two, maybe.
To find out what's going on in the world.
Yeah, I'll find out for a random article online.
It's not to get a fact about something.
Sure.
It's for me to know, like, did Congress blow up tonight? You know?
You went to Twitter for that?
No. That's what it would be, though. If someone were to say, hey, did you hear something just happened? I wouldn't go to, like, ABC News, you know? I'd go to, Twitter.
What's trending on Twitter?
What's the top thing trending on Twitter is the thing I need to know that's happening right now, you know? And then from there, I'll do research into, like, what I need to find out about it. But
yeah.
It's just my first go-to to find out what's the big thing happening right now.
That might be why I'm super late to stuff. Like, you know, you'll see different links or articles on Facebook, and I'll be like, oh, man. And I'm like, happened 2 months ago. I'm like, oh.
When did you know Trump was our president?
Huh?
Yeah. Ooh.
What? He became our what?
I thought we just talked about him because he's, like, rich and stuff. He's, what?
I thought people just like making jokes about him again. What happened?
He's our what? I thought he made a new show, and that's great, dude.
I thought Shark Tank came back with him.
The new host of Shark Tank.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, that's why we're making fun of him, right?
Dude, there you go.
Yeah, I'm super late. Not like even super late. I'll be like a day or two late on things, and like not even because, like, it won't be. It's just whoever shares it on my timeline, or whoever, if I find a random video recommended to me on YouTube, it's just like because I wait for the recommended or shared stuff. You know, that's it.
Right.
If I still posted about that stuff on myself or followed people like that on my Facebook or YouTube, or whatever, I would still hear about it. Same way Twitter as Twitter.
For me, I'm usually a day late to have an opinion about it because I wait to hear podcasts talk about it.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So like I'll know, like, let's say something big happened at the State of the Union tonight. I'll have a general idea of something that happened, but I won't have an opinion. I won't know enough where I can have a conversation with you about it.
Yeah.
Until the next day where I listen to 3 podcasts about it, you know?
Good.
And then, so like my news is always a day late. Like someone like, dude, this just happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, we can talk about it tomorrow, you know? So like, and that's the other, do you ever think about where you get your information from? You said you wait for it to pop up on a feed or like, do you ever think about that? Like,
I never think about credible
should you
source.
trust it or something, you know?
You know, that never, as a guy, circling
like,
back. Yeah, that's right. You
girls
know,
don't.
As a male, like I was saying earlier, I use common sense instead of facts.
Okay.
But I do check the facts that are given to me.
Right.
Like if I'm shown a video of like the MAGA kids.
Okay. Oh, dude, you don't.
I watched, you know, that blew up. I saw that because friends of mine are Native American or whatever. And
this
they
is
got
interesting.
offended.
I'm interested to hear what you think about this as someone that just kind of randomly hears about this.
Yeah. I heard about this in bits and pieces until eventually I watched like Crowder talk about it. And then that's when I got the full scope of the facts. Even then, you know, he didn't show the full, like he said, there's like a good 2-hour video about like everything that went on there. I didn't even watch that. I took his word because I trust him. But before that, and even now, like I just heard about like people doing this, people doing that. And I was just like, well, that guy needs to, like, even if those kids were chanting build the wall, which there was, if I remember right, there's no evidence that they were, so I'm gonna have to assume that they didn't if there's no evidence of it.
Right.
Even if they were like little kids, and sure, they might have been disrespectful, and so was the Native American guy beating the drum in his face. I mean, they're words, and that's a mild action of just doing something, you know, mildly annoying to a child's face.
Yeah.
The thing that bothered me the most, though, were the people reacting online to it and like going on a manhunt for this child.
Yeah,
that's what really bothered me about it. And you know, they didn't have the facts. They didn't know that the American Indian guy came up and walked to them. You know, they didn't know that. They didn't know that they were harassing the wrong kid online.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't know things like
crazy.
that. They just saw like a 2-second clip. Their friends might have mildly told them and said like, we're going to hate this guy now.
Yeah.
And then they did. The only thing that I do differently is that I wait back or I at least think about the different perspective. If there's a 2-second clip of someone getting shot online, I'll at least think. I'm like, well, did that guy do anything? Did that person shooting deserve to do that, or like was he defending his life?
Yeah.
I'll wait to like make a drastic opinion. I might have a reaction. I might say like, oh, well, of course he shot that guy.
Yeah. Like, oh, that sucks. The guy got shot. Like,
yeah, something.
My initial reaction is like, yeah.
Yeah, of course I'll have a reaction, but like I'll still hold back my strong opinion on it until I find out more,
Like,
or at least think about it more.
You should have questions about it. Yeah, like when I first saw that the guy banging the drum into the kid's face, I was like, well, why is he doing it?
Yeah.
What did the kid do? Why is he there? Where are they at? You know, all those questions start going through my head, not instantly like the kid's racist. You know, like, and that's what he's wearing a MAGA hat. He's racist.
Sure.
If he wasn't wearing a MAGA hat and he was a Mexican kid,
is he still racist?
What would that story have been like? It wouldn't have been. No, let's be real. You could take that exact same scenario, put a bunch of diverse kids, a group of kids, not wearing a MAGA hat. Just seriously, just change the skin color to not white kids, to mix of Asian, black, Mexican, whatever, not wearing a hat in the exact same scenario, and they could be even more rude and more offensive.
Sure.
That's not
news.
It's not news, and it shouldn't have been a news. It shouldn't be.
It definitely shouldn't have been a news. There's nothing to inform about. They were just like, oh, people are being rude to each other.
Yeah, that's just the thing. But the fact that it was a white kid wearing a MAGA hat, and it's national news, man. It was, that's definitely the most disturbing thing about it.
That's what I was more surprised about. It was like I was looking through a couple articles, because like, I wasn't digging for them, but like they would pop up a lot because people were talking about it. And
it was nonstop all weekend. Especially the first 3-4 days.
And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna find out why this is like someone got like shot or someone got beat up or something, and it was just like, oh, this guy looks smug. Let's go burn his house down or something. I'm like, damn, dude, is this real? They're just being rude to each other.
This kid's stupid face, right?
Yeah, I'm like, this is all he did was just have a smug face.
Yeah,
I thought he would like punch the old guy in the face or something. Nothing like that happened. He was crazy.
Stood there with a weird look in his face.
Yeah,
and if you watch the video, like the lead up to the smug look on his face, you see him confused.
Oh, he do.
Like, no, I don't know if you see it, like, because he's banging his drum and like kids kind of spread out. And he wasn't even in the front of the crowd, right? Like when he first walks up, he's like a person or two back in the row. The kid's kind of spread out, and he's kind of like looking around laughing. And then all of a sudden, the dude's in his face, and he gets kind of like a whoa, what's happening? Look on his face, and he's kind of like looks around, doesn't know what to do, so he just stands there. And I think it's more of an awkward look than it is like the stupid Indian guy, you know?
Yeah.
It's more of like, I'm sitting here, this guy's banging in my face, and I don't know what I'm gonna do, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, I make that face all the time when people come up to me. I'm like,
But if you were to take that picture, that snap of a look on your face, you may look like a douchebag, you know?
Sure. Oh,
but
yeah.
That was just like, oh, I don't know what's going on, you know, and that's all it was. And another thing was kind of, you look at the picture, the kid is above him, looking down on the Indian guy. It's because he's like 3 steps up.
Yeah, on literal stairs.
If you watch the kid, just watch pictures of him or you watch the interview, he's a little kid, man. He's 16 years old, but I would have guessed he's 12. Like, you know, this isn't like a grown adult. This is a kid, you know? And the fact that he got dragged through this, it's kind of crazy. I heard that he might, like, his family hired some lawyers and they might be suing like media and like celebrities, and they're going to go after him, man.
I sure hope so.
I do. I think they need to.
Because, like, you know, I hear about this stuff. I don't hear about people saying like, oh, we made a mistake judging someone so harshly and like, you know, getting this family so upset about this. You don't hear about that.
Right.
Because like that kid that they harassed wrongly, they did something to that family, right? Like they gave his address out or something like that.
The wrong address, yeah.
Yeah. And then like that kid that looked like the MAGA kid hat. Which is also weird that they chose him out of the entire group, by the way.
Yeah.
There was an entire other school there, but they chose that one kid to be the face of it.
Because it's that picture of him banging and he stopped there. He just happened to stop at him.
I'm sure that kid was just like, I bet like if you look off camera for like 2 seconds, someone threw that hat on him. He's like, oh, I actually don't like Trump. And then the camera looks at him and then the Indian guy walks up and he's just like, oh, what's going on right now?
It was a setup.
He was
like the other Indian guy who's like, stand here.
Yeah.
Puts a hat on. He's like, what? He's like, what? Don't move. Stand here. You're
Smile.
Good. Smile. He's like, okay. That would be so funny, dude.
Hey, that could be it.
It wasn't okay. That didn't happen, but it was as close to that as you could think of. Like,
sure.
This was a completely planned thing for him to come out and make a scene of this. You know,
I wouldn't doubt it.
So that's kind of funny. The thought of that. Kid, stand here. Put this hat
Come
on. Like, he doesn't even see it. He's like, what does it say? He's like, no, just leave it on.
Oh, red's my favorite color.
Okay, yeah, dude. Like, I look good in red. You know. Like,
nice. I needed a hat.
My mom said that I look good in red. You know, he's like a little kid, dude. Just like, That literally, yeah, that's funny, man.
Well, country's crazy. I hope that they, I'm not one to say I'm not a hypocrite. I know I judge people harshly too, but like I don't like do anything that's like harmful at the very least.
Yeah.
And not even like I know the internet. You could rage, you can keyboard warrior as much as you want. And most of the time it's not harmful, but when you like back a whole society behind you and say like, hey, screw this kid and give out his address, I would never do anything like that to anyone I disagree with or I think is an asshole.
Yeah.
Like I don't. I mean, we all know where Trump lives now, but I
only wonder. At least you're smart enough to know that, dude. Yeah. You're not political, but you know where Trump's at.
But like if he was just some random guy and just did his thing, I wouldn't like give out his info. I would just be like, yeah, this guy sucks, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think there's too much of that. Like I talk about before, like sometimes people just suck, and that's okay, and we can deal with it, and we can talk about it, but we don't have to like make a big issue like about why they suck and like dig into it, right? Like this was like a kid's disrespectful. He has a MAGA hat on. He's white. He's being racist. Like we jump to these conclusions on why someone might have done something. Maybe he could have just been a stupid kid who was having a bad day. And
yeah,
like if it went in the scenario that they say it did initially, right? That he was just this smug kid and everyone like, so what? Like he was being a punk, whatever.
That's not national news.
He could have been having a bad day. It doesn't mean he's racist. It doesn't mean he's a bigot or whatever, He could have just been a kid who did something disrespectful.
Yeah.
Maybe he needs to go home and talk about it with his parent or someone, like it doesn't mean we have to accuse him for being all these things, right?
Yeah. And if we actually have him on there saying like, get out, like if I saw that kid yell, get off my land or whatever, something like that to the Native American guy, I'd be like, yeah, he's racist. Yeah, screw him. Even if he's a kid, I'd be like, yeah, he's racist. But I'm not gonna do anything harmful to him. He's just, like you say, he's having a bad day.
Yeah.
He'll still probably be racist after that bad day. But I mean, that's all right. Okay. There's a lot of racist people in this country.
Yeah.
Oh well, let's move on.
It doesn't
to something that's actually news.
Yeah, that's not news. But even in like, man, I don't know. I'm thinking about even in. Like, I'm sure I've said things where you might assume, like, what, is he racist? I'm like, no, I might have been in a bad mood and angry.
Sure.
And I might have said something, not intending it to be racist, but maybe I was talking to someone who was whatever,
That's me every day.
Right.
Good day, bad day. Whatever.
If you're having a bad day and you happen to be talking to someone who's, I don't know, homosexual or whatever, and I say something rude and maybe something slips out, that does not, that's no representation of who I am. That could have just been a bad moment. And if that gets on camera or someone else hears it and they're just automatically going to assume that's who I am from a bad moment,
Yeah.
That's not good. And I don't think you should jump to a conclusion about someone because of a bad moment.
That's fair too.
You know? And then jump to conclusions and put this whole story about why, like I don't know if I told you about, like I took this class. It was like a social psychology class in college. And we, like, everyone was just, it just got into everyone just like, how they've been like offended and harmed, and one of this lady was talking about how she told the story real quick. She was at ATM and then someone was rude to her, and there's a little more to the story, but like nothing that she said had anything to do other than someone was rude to her, and she assumed because she was black, I think, and the guy was white, and her whole thing was how this guy was racist to her. And I remember the story was over, and I even asked her, I was like, what happened that made you think that you did that because you were black or because, he was racist? And she's like, well, the way he talked to me. And I'm like, it kind of sounds to me, he kind of just sucked, dude. Like this guy was just mean,
just rude,
like, just rude, And I'm like, don't put assumptions on people because they're rude. Some people just suck, some people are just mean. Some people are having a bad day. It doesn't mean just because they belong to a certain group of people or because you happen to be black or you happen to be this, that doesn't mean that they think that all those people are that something, like sometimes things just happen, and I don't think we had to put a whole story behind it.
Definitely not. The most unnecessary stories of this year.
So frustrating. That's what, and that it was super frustrating for me, man. And nothing gets me more like upset than that, because I think anyone can be looked at as like just wrongly accused for something for a bad moment,
I kind of want to go online, like Twitter, whatever, and kind of look at people that were like, oh, screw this kid, and like up in arms, and I want to see if they made amends. I want to see if they're like, oh, I apologize for blah blah blah, or even if they even bothered to look into the facts or the whole story or anything like that.
Well, I think at this point they know.
I sure hope so.
But then
people
again,
started pulling the stories and videos online because they're like, oh, okay, this actually isn't racist.
But that doesn't take away from what happened,
Yeah.
This kid's, for the rest of his life, he's the MAGA kid, you know, the MAGA hat kid.
That's right.
You know, and there's a reason why, like, okay, you could go into like a courtroom. There's a reason why they don't want attorneys just saying things that don't make any sense, and you have to have some kind of justification for saying things, right? Mm-hmm. Like in the objection, you know, you have no right to say that. Like, you know, you got to have some kind of basis for what you're saying as an attorney, right? But attorneys will still do it because they want to get that image in the juror's head, right?
Yeah.
So,
knowing damn well won't have an actual place to claim.
Yeah. Even if they say the other attorney says objection, you have no basis for that. You know, how dare you call him this? And like, okay, yeah, you can take that back. Mm-hmm. But that's already in their head.
Planted that image now.
You planted that image in their head. And I think that's all this does. So the media doesn't care. Like, it's planted in their head.
They definitely don't care.
They can take it back all they want. They can write all the editorial like things that they want about how they messed up. You're never going to take that back, and it's never going to fix it.
Yeah.
So that's why, as journalists, you should be careful enough to know, like, isn't that their job? You know?
You think so?
Like, me as just some guy, when I saw it, I'm like, what is this? And, oh, he's racist. Oh, is this? So dumb. So dumb.
It is I hope it never comes back up. Unless they're actually racist.
But doesn't that make you, like, question, like, when actual racism happens, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be sitting there like, was it really racist? Like, oh, yes, it definitely was. Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah, that was, you know, I'm like, oh, dang.
I'll be skeptical still.
I don't want to be like, but they shouldn't be like that though. See, I think they hurt their cause when you do that. Right. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember you know, Charlottesville, what happened in Charlottesville, right? The white supremacists in Charlottesville, they marched in Charlottesville, and there were a bunch of protests and riots, and someone actually got run over by a car and they killed a woman.
Oh, I vaguely heard about that.
Yeah. I remember those Charlottesville riots when it first happened. I was like, oh yeah, there was just a bunch of Republicans marching, whatever. Okay. You know, that was my thought. And
yeah.
I probably went about my day thinking that that's all it was. And then as I dug in, I was like, oh gosh, wait a minute. This was actually a bunch of white supremacists, a-holes, you know, out there marching. And then I was like, oh crap, this was a big deal. But because of how the media reacts or how quickly people jump to conclusions about stuff, my initial reaction was, whatever.
Yeah. Because more than likely it probably wasn't compared to, you know.
Because last week there was someone else that they called racist that wasn't. You know?
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It's the boy who cried wolf, man, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You cry wolf every day. I'm not
waking up every morning.
Like, you're going to get eaten before I realize that it was an actual wolf, you know. Racists are going to do stupid stuff before I realize it's an actual racist sometimes because you guys just freak out too much, man.
Yeah, I know. That's what I've already been on that mentality for a while too. At the point where like I don't even care if someone is racist because like if you know, there's a lot of people that I know personally or you just know of that you just disagree with, and then I just move on. They're like, okay, yeah, he's a terrible a-hole. I'm never gonna agree with him. He won't even, if there's a heaven or hell, he's definitely not getting to heaven. But he's not a part of my life. I'm just gonna move on from that.
All right.
Real laid back point of view, you know, real chill, man. Like, hey, just get those negative vibes out of here, man.
Just meditate and get that out. Do you think there's something about like justifying their inappropriate behavior or whatever with your reaction to is a thing? I know that's kind of a thing for me, and I've talked to people about this, and I kind of go back and forth about it. Where I'm like, when I see someone do something, we'll call racism, whatever, you know, bigotry, whatever. Sometimes I'm not going to acknowledge it. I'm not going to give you the benefit of it. I'm not going to give you that because I know you're looking for a reaction. I know you want me to react to you. You know, I'm not going to give you that. So I'm going to ignore it. But then there's also the thing where, hey, you know, you can't just ignore it. It's there. Maybe you do need to bring it to the light and let it be shown for what it is, right? So I get caught in between that. And I remember having a discussion with a family member that I was like, man, you know, I really got to think about where's the balance of that, you know?
Yeah.
Where's the balance of like, hey, this is going on. This is a big deal. I need to like bring it to light if I see it and know it and realize that it's a big deal and it's happening. Where, look, I know that's what you want from me. You want the reaction, you know? Does that make sense? You know, so I kind of find myself now kind of more seeing the other side, but I still feel very strongly in the like, I'm not going to give you the credit for that. You know, I'm not going to acknowledge it.
Are you saying something along, so like for me, I don't care if I seem racist. I'll say things that seem racist, you know, whether it's for a joke or for me to prove a point. Are you talking about like that kind of?
I'm talking like actual people that say racist things and intending it for it to be. But even that, like say...
Like for the shock value or something?
Yeah. Or no, let's say someone were to do something to me because I'm Mexican. And I'm sure it might have happened to me at times. But I honestly can't tell you a single moment in my life that I can tell you for sure that someone did something to me because I was Mexican.
Yeah.
You know, in the same class I was in, everyone talked about where they grew up and stuff like that. And I told them, I'm like, oh yeah, my name's Albert Rodriguez. I'm 100% Mexican. I look Mexican. You could know I'm Mexican right away. I went to a small private school in Clovis, California. Right? But as white as that sounds pretty white, right?
Yep.
You know what their reaction was? What was that like? What did you experience? Oh, like, what was, you know, they were expecting stories. And I'm like, I don't know.
It was pretty chill.
It was pretty good, man. I made some good people, met some good friends. I'm still best friends. They're all white.
Yeah.
You know, it was literally that. And I think they were like, really? Well, they're digging. Like, well, what happened? Like, what? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's kind of because of my mentality. And in a way, I think that's benefited me because it hasn't harmed me. Like, there could have been, I'm not saying nothing bad has happened to me, but I didn't look at those things in a victimhood like mentality of like, you did this to me.
Victimize yourself.
I didn't victimize it, so it didn't affect me.
Yeah.
You know, like I've been pulled over. I didn't like, oh, this guy pulled me over because I was Mexican, driving around on the wrong side, driving around Clovis at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Mexican guy. You know, and it might be different for different races and different things. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. But I didn't allow myself to become a victim for those things.
I agree with you. I feel like I'm exactly the same way. You know, I've gone pulled over a couple times, and there were legit reasons. I did my tags were not renewed. That was the only reason.
Right.
Nothing crazy happened and I get shot. It wasn't because I'm black.
Yeah.
There was a moment I do remember distinctively. It didn't even affect me. It was like the first time I learned about racism. I had a white kid, a white best friend growing up, and we were kids. And we're on the street somewhere, and this other bigger, older white kid riding by on his bicycles. And he was like, "Get out of my neighborhood, N-word."
Oh, N-word. Okay.
Yeah, and I was just like, "What's that?"
Wait, how old are you, son?
I was like 7, dude.
Okay.
I was pretty young. I was like, "Oh, what's that?" I didn't even know he was talking to me. I was just like, "Is he talking to you? Is he talking to me? What's going on?"
Me? I'm
What does that mean? And dude, my friend Dylan was so offended for a 7-year-old. He was like,
is he black?
He's white.
Oh, he's a white guy. Okay.
He was just like, "Oh, he's my friend," you know, all that shit.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't even know what that means, dude. I'm like,
Did
okay.
you really not know what that means, or you're just like, I don't care?
I mean, like I've heard the word, but I didn't know what it.
But you're
like,
7, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, whatever. So I just brushed it off, and it's like things like that. That's how my life.
Your friend was more offended by it than you were.
Yeah, he was more. He was offended for me.
Right.
I think, and I was having a discussion with this. A lot of things in life too. People like to blame the government, or they like to blame the laws or society. I think society is to blame, not the law, not the government. People say institutional racism, but there's not an institute that has racist anything. There's laws that are specifically against racism.
Not anymore, at least. Yeah.
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 And there's definitely is racism still alive in America, obviously, but that's all cultural, and we can't do anything really about that unless our culture, you know, wipes that out over time. And even then, that's probably going to be impossible.
Yeah.
But anything in life too, and I call this like a sympathy for the minority, like black sympathy or Mexican sympathy, because people like to say like, oh, tough, you know, times are tough, but it's like, it's just because, you know, they'll say, oh, but he's black, you know, it's fine. Like, yeah, I get why he's like that, or like he doesn't have the chance to do this or that. But the reality is that just the only reason that they're minority here in America is that because the majority is white. That could change in 100, 200 years. The majority could become black, could become Mexican, could become anything, could be mixed, you know?
Well, I think there's going to be in by 2030 something or 40 or something.
Sure,
they're saying it's
doubt.
not going to be a majority white anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, and then white people will become the minority. And then will they face oppression? No, because no one does.
Right.
You know? So, and then the only thing that we struggle is economically. We definitely struggle, you know, like a white person could start off in a rich place but make poor decisions and end up in a poor place or in a struggling place. And a black kid could start off in a poor society, society, whatever.
Economic situation.
Yeah, economic situation, and then work very hard. And sure, they had one was disadvantaged, one was advantaged, but because of their personal choices is what got them out of these certain situations, not because of their race.
Yeah.
So I think economics
sense
is
of personal responsibility that you need to take into what you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and that's just something that helps me not become my own victim. You know, like I get that my life's been tough. I grew up getting evicted from a lot of different houses because my parents, you know, were on drugs. I'm very poor growing up. I don't think I'm still fairly poor. You know, I think I'm like middle class now. I think I've worked hard enough to be stable,
right,
to a certain extent. You know, and it's not because of anything to do with my race. You know, my mom's white, my dad's black, and they both messed up and made bad choices. My mom in society's eyes had more advantages than my dad, but it's her choices that made her get to where she was now. Same thing with my dad.
Yeah.
And my uncle, who is also black, full black also, him and my dad started off in the same situation. Actually, my grandparents worked hard, so they started off in a decent spot. My uncle worked very hard, and he's in a great place. My dad made very bad choices, and he's not in a good place now.
Yeah.
So it's all personal choice.
If you don't mind me asking, what was it about you? You've grown up, like you said, you grew up in some tough situations. You grew up, you know, poor or whatever. You know, you said, like, very easily you could have ended up with that victimhood mentality, right? Taking that on, and like from talking to you, like I feel like I'm getting to know you pretty well. Like you don't have that at all. Like you definitely have this sense of responsibility. You're who you are. You're Edward, just Edward White, who you are, not Edward White, black guy or half whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Like how did you come out of that like that? Like thinking that way, you know?
Honestly, I mean, I couldn't pinpoint like certain things. I think it's just been a collection of different moments throughout my life. But one thing was that, you know, I was told at a younger age that my actions will lead to my consequences. My grandparents are pretty harsh.
Grandparents, okay.
Grandparents are pretty harsh. So they were like, if you don't want to end up like your dad, you have to work harder. And I always had family. And, you know, I don't talk to a lot of my white side of my family. I talk to a lot of the black side. A lot of them are doing well for themselves. You know, they may not be like super rich, but I mean, like, well, a couple of them are actually out in the South. I'm just like, damn. They all worked for it, you know?
Yeah.
And they tell me that, you know, you can't blame anyone for you making your own mistakes.
Right.
You know, the reason I'm not going to college right now because I'm lazy and I procrastinate. I know that. I have to accept that about myself because it's something that I have to change if I want to be better for.
Right.
And like I said, I think something I realized too is just because I started off in a rough spot doesn't mean I started off in a rough spot because I'm black. I think in this country it's because I started off poor. So I don't really know if there was a thing that made me think that. I think it's been just the way my family raised me, and to see the differences between two black men starting off in the same position and ending up in two different spots, and also having a white mom who was supposed to have the advantage in life and end up in a bad spot.
Struggled, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, maybe it's just those models in my life. I don't want to call them role models, but those people in my life that have kind of set the example that it's your choice. It's nothing to do with your race.
Right. So like,
and sure, it's harder and easier for some people, and because the majority of people in this country are white, and so that means a majority of the richer people are going to be white as well too, because they're just the majority of the country. So it just seems like economically they have the bigger advantages, not because they're white, but because they happen to be white.
Just because it happened where they come from.
Yeah.
And that's not their fault. Like, you know,
there's poor white people.
You're not going to look at, you know, a rich white person that was born into a good situation and then automatically like, you're going to look down on him. And like, that's also like, it's not his fault he was born into that too, you know, like, but now it's up to him to make the right decisions and do with that. You know, there's a responsibility there. I think you need to take advantage of. But no, I think that makes what you said. I mean, it definitely makes sense. Like it sounds like, you know, you said watching the situations your parents and the things they did, the decisions they made, and how that affected them. And like it sounded like your grandparents had a huge influence on getting that mentality in your head to like work hard. You know, you determine what you're going to do and how you end up and stuff like that. And I think that's good. And I think, I mean, like I don't know. I feel like most kids don't get told that enough.
I sure hope they do, though. Honestly.
Do you see that? Like, do you have like friends from the past, I guess, that you've seen where they've...
Jesus, all the time. Yeah. Even friends that I'm still cool with now. Like, it doesn't have to be about, you know, race at all, but just choices in general in your life. You just have to learn to take responsibility. Yeah. Like, I know where I'm at isn't where I want to be, and that's because I make those choices. Right. People don't even realize that. Like, it doesn't have to be about money. It doesn't have to be about race. Just like you're in a relationship that you're not happy with, and my friends will continue to make the same choices, and then say like, oh, but this reason. I'm like, no, it's because you just don't, you know, I get it's hard. Things in life are hard, but you didn't make the choice yourself to change it. Right. You know, you didn't get up there and make a difference for yourself.
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it, man.
So yeah, a lot of people, you know, I'm not like some like woke, I'm not the conservative woke black kid.
Is there conservative woke?
There is now.
I'm the first. You're starting it, Edward. Conservative woke. Okay,
that's right.
No, man, that's honestly, and again to me, dude, it goes back to what you're saying, common sense. Like that's kind of what it is to me. And I think that's the mentality you need. And you know, if you look at bad things that happen in your life, whether it's your fault or not, if you look at it in a way like, what can I do to change it? Not what did someone do to me to put me in this situation, you know, or what did someone else do for this bad thing to happen to me. It's what did I do to get in the situation, and what can I do to get out of it? And whether, maybe it is something that bad that happened to you that was out of your control, or someone else did to you. But, looking at it in that mentality, I don't think is going to help you that much.
Yeah.
The more you take on yourself, the better, because it's easier to change yourself than it is other people.
Yeah.
If someone did something to you to put you in a bad situation, trying to change their mind, good luck, but bettering yourself. And you said, you're kind of at a place right now where you're better off than you definitely could have been, or than some of your friends' decisions that they've made. But you're also seeing that, you could be better. You're saying you're not in school right now because you're lazy, I think you said right now,
That's right.
But then you're taking that responsibility on yourself, but also seeing that you could do more if it's just a small change in your life or whatever it is,
Yeah.
And I think that's like the perfect way to look at it. And, and I've acknowledged that, I'm in my mid 30s. If you had asked, 20-year-old Beto where he's going to be at 35, I probably wouldn't have said like here now, but again, I've made whatever decisions I made to get me here. That's on me, and, I got to accept that, and I got to own it. That's me.
That's right.
And that's a good way to look at it, man.
That's life. And that's fine. Like it's fine to be in a bad position too. Like that's not, I'm not saying that like, oh, how dare you be in a bad position in your life. It's just who you're blaming for it.
Yeah.
Some things are out of your control. You
Yeah.
can't control if you're born poor or in this weird issue or have this weird issue. You can't control that. But you don't blame people that have nothing to do with it for that issue. You can blame the people who are responsible for the things they're responsible for. If someone like randomly just popped in my head, but like if you were raped, I'm not going to say like, no, that's like, it's up to you to change.
No,
like, yeah. Like blame the rapist. But like, I'm not going to continue with that analogy.
I was like, where you going?
Hold on a second. But like things like blame who is responsible if they're actually responsible.
Like I'm not going to look at a poor person to be like, you're just poor because you're making bad decisions. Like that's not my initial thought. I'm
definitely.
like, this person's poor. Let's look into what happened. But if I see this person's poor and they've never worked hard in their life and they've never done this, and that's a look, man, you probably could have done better.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you're spending all your money on drugs, if you refuse to work for some reason and only use certain benefits or like things like that, like I'm gonna be like, okay, yeah, this is your fault. You need to step up. But like if you're actually trying hard, trying to save up money, anything, if you're actually trying, then that's fine.
And there's something more respectable about that, man. Like seeing someone who's like been in a bad situation or a tough situation and like come up from that, and come out better, maybe wanting better for their future, like I don't know if you're gonna have kids ever one day. Like I think that's something I really believe in, is like passing on to the next generation something better, continuing to work harder. And I know I respect that in my parents a lot, because I know my parents worked really hard, and my dad is like one of the hardest working people I know, but he did that throughout my life. And he would tell us, I want you guys to be better. I don't want you guys to struggle with the things I struggled with.
Oh yeah.
And seeing that was huge for me, and respecting that. And it wasn't because he like instantly like that, our lives were going to be completely 100% perfect and better, but just that little bit, it really, like, it's something now I still think about all the time. My dad retired now, and like he's able to rest, and I'm like, dude, he earned that. He worked for that. And the things that I see in my family, I can be like, yeah, I need to be better. And that's a motivation for me to be better,
I don't think I would ever want to, I would want to start off, I would like to, if I want kids, I would like to work harder to start off in a position that they don't have an excuse to say, oh, well, I couldn't do this.
Right.
I would want my kids to say, like, I would be like, hey, listen, I provided you with a stable home, a stable anything. Anything. Like I want them to have advantages in life. Yeah. And they're going to be black. They're going to be half black. They're probably going to be half Mexican, because I'm into Mexican girls.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, hey, it happens.
It's a good little mix. Half. Because you're half white, half black, and a little bit Mexican.
They're going to be. I hope maybe like a half Mexican, half Asian girl, so I can have a quad.
That's the big four.
Yeah.
And then is that? I'm sorry if I left someone out of the big four.
No, we're going to get someone else. My kid's going to get someone else. He's going to get like a Middle Eastern girl or guy, whoever is his preference.
That's what America's going to look like in 100 years, dude.
Yeah, man.
There's not going to be like
a melding pot.
You're not going to know what anyone is, because it's going to be like just random, just kind of brownish person who I don't know what race you are.
Sure. Something. Yeah. You're like, hey, you can't assume anything about me anymore. Yeah. Especially genders.
Oh gosh.
No, that's right.
But no, but just what you're saying. Yeah. I think I like what you're, I remember like talking to you and getting to know you a little bit. And like, I remember hearing you say things and I'm like, okay, like I kind of and then you would tell me a little bit more about where you came from. And like, I could see how like your past kind of shaped how you view certain things. But then it's so weird to think about how like very easily, like some of the things you've told me about your past could have shaped you in a completely different way, and how it has different people, right? Depending on how you look at it and how you want to take responsibility for things, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I've enjoyed, like talking to you about stuff and I do. Cause I see like your mentality on like some of the things you've told me you've been through. And like we talked a little bit about today, I'm like, man, I don't know how I would have handled those situations, you know? Like that's rough, but you've come through and like, there's a respect there I have for you for that, you know? Like,
thank you.
Definitely. So
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think the weird thing too is that like I was thinking when you were saying that, I'm like, yeah, I guess it's like a half glass full, half glass empty kind of view. But I mean, I still have a half glass empty view on myself. I'm just blaming myself is all. I'm still saying that I'm the problem.
Right.
I'm not saying that.
So you're taking it like too far.
Yeah. I was like, I guess I can see it half full, but I'm like, no, actually my point of view is still negative.
You're just being too hard on yourself now. So,
probably.
okay. So you're taking it the other way around. So now you need to like, oh man, now you need to blame everyone else now.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go. Now it's time. No, man, yeah. We talked about the other day. You're like, Edward, I think you're a little better person. Maybe you think you are.
I doubt it.
Just a little bit better.
Yeah, I tell my ex that. We'll see. We'll see.
I don't know if I'm not going there.
Yeah, that's right.
You're a little better, man.
Yeah.
So
ask God.
I did. I ask him every day.
What does he say? He's like, ugh, Edward.
He's like, you're still talking to that guy?
He's like, Albert, come on, man. Dude.
Now you're recording the thing with him? Like, what's
you're really putting his message
I got to talk to him later, man. It's going to be rough. I'm nervous about that one.
The stern one.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. But,
all right. Well, I think that's it for me. I got to do laundry, actually. I just remembered that right now.
Yeah. Let me see. How long has this been going for?
What is the timer right there?
Yeah. I don't even know what that says, but it's been a while. But all right, dude. Thanks. I'm not even sure how I'm gonna end this. 'Cause I'm usually not the one to press whatever on this. So.
Well, thank you for having me,
Edward White. Thank you.
Well, hold on.
Am I supposed to say your full name? Do you want me to edit that out?
Oh yeah. No, I'm good.
I could.
You know how many Edward Whites there are?
I could stop the recording before we got to this part.
No. That was good. Some lolling.
I'm Albert Rodriguez.
Oh no. Oh, you put us both out there.
Oh, we're both out there now.
Oh man.
They can find us.
Oh no, they're gonna blame us for the MAGA kids or something.
Once it's out there, dude.
I think we coordinated them going over there.
Right. Yeah, we were supposed to do some other stuff tonight. This wasn't the plan. We got distracted with this.
Yeah. Impromptu podcast. It was fun though.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right, dude. Well, I'm gonna stop this.
Alrighty.
Swallowed it nightly, tread swiftly and lightly, break off the lost ground.